Hey.
Hello, everyone. We should be coming through. Welcome to Bela'Dun and Beyond.
Hello.
Hello, everyone.
Hi. I like
Whoop
how it all
whoop.
suddenly turned into Wallace just cheese.
Cool. We should be going. I don't remember who did the notes.
Me.
Oh, okay. Cool.
That one.
And by do the notes, I mean I just spent the last 10 minutes writing the notes from memory because we watched the replay recently, so it's all up.
Fair
Cool.
enough.
Okay. So, big session last week. Loads happened. Started off having a fight in the market, which is what we ended the previous session on. Us 5 versus about 30 or 40 elves who were swarming us like zerglings. Nemea pulled out a black hole full of tentacles, which licked them, and then Taryn ran around blasting people, killing 4 elves per turn. Livia ran around stabbing people with spirit guardians, and Max and Nemea engaged a spooky elven lady who we guessed was an assassin and called her that for the entire session, whether or not it was right or not. She got pushed off the roof and fell on her ass. Then she got back up on the roof and crippled the mayor. Astros took a ton of arrows and did very little during the battle. Suddenly, the elven lady got spooked and heard that the king had returned to her castle and jumped 30 feet into a puff of smoke and teleported away. Also, I forgot to mention, Vice had the first successful use of the jumping ring, jumping gracefully like a swan from one roof to another.
Swans are well known for their long jumping.
They are, yeah. Continuing the theme, Vice also jumped off the roof and landed perfectly on the edge of a well, and we all clapped for him. We then went inside a house to short rest because we were knackered, and we found a wounded major in there, and Livia healed him, and he said that he'd remember our good deeds, even though he wasn't quite sure who we were. There was an awkward exchange where Nemea was potentially talking about treason, abandoning the mission, and abandoning Starvin and the war to save our own lives because things were getting dangerous. And that led to an awkward exchange, me and Nemea, where Livia took Nemea's side, and Astros got angry. And then we ran through the streets, and much chaos happened. And we killed people, we blew up buildings to collapse rubble on top of their heads. I yelled at 2 people until they died, which was hilarious. Livia found a house full of people, decided they were too injured and had to heal them, so we stopped. And then the building collapsed on us. Twist! And then in the rubble we found some magical artifacts. And then we took those magical artifacts, mine with some cards, got to the castle, everything was hunky-dory until we realised that every single guard was dead, and there was blood all over the floor. And then every room or corridor we went through, there were just more and more dead guards, until finally we stood outside what I think was the king's chamber, which may or may not contain the king.
Yes, essentially the throne room. Throne room.
Throne room.
It's similar to a
Throne
throne room, but there's more
But with
A
a
in the
throne.
word.
The Yarn of Balgraf.
And also Aresium might be in there as well, maybe.
Potentially. All right, let's pull
Potentially.
you guys to nowhere because you haven't entered yet. Well, let's pull you to Starvin.
Stop
There we
pulling
go.
me, man.
So, as Adamasteros has described, you guys are basically just before 2 large doors, which, to the best of your knowledge, having never really visited the palace previously, lead on to the throne room or some sort of large chamber. They're quite ornate, expensive, big doors, double doors. And essentially, just as you get close to them and are about to pass through, you hear somebody say, "You cannot stop us! I will set the end of your people in motion this day!" And then you hear the sounds of kind of steel on steel, metal on metal, and then the cries of pain from a decent portion away, but loud enough through this door that you can hear it. So what do you guys want to do?
Let's just fucking
We need to
go.
run through.
I think we should fucking go.
We should go. We should fucking run.
I wasn't expecting
Three.
anything other than that, to be honest.
No, mate,
Does anyone want to play
you still
solitaire really
saying
quick?
we should leave.
Yeah, let's play
4-man solitaire. Go.
Yeah, solitaire.
I was willing to leave, but we're here, so let's go.
Okay. After solitaire.
Oh, it jumps in
Yeah,
10% increments. Well, this'll do. I'm going to go like that. That'll do for now. It looks like I haven't put you guys on the map yet. I don't know why I didn't set that up, but I will do that now.
No.
Elven possible assassin lady.
Yeah, so you guys are on a higher platform, and which is why you can basically see the whole room. I'll move you in a second to proper positions. So I'm going to put you there. Is that bottom square a whole square that I'm just not seeing? It's not, is it? It's like a half square. Yeah, it's like an odd half square. Strange. I'm going to put some of you down the steps for the sake of getting everyone in. Nemea, you're going to be in a weird medium space. There we go. Cool. So you enter this room. Not shown on the map are the corpses of a few human Stalvan guards. You're uncertain as to whether or not they're simply military or Kingsguard. And I need you all to roll initiative.
Sick.
As I press this button.
Hmm.
Oh, nice initiative.
It's quite possibly playing, no clue.
I hear nothing so far.
No, we'll see if it starts after like...
There
There we
it
go.
is.
Nice choice.
Right, I need not the dice roller, I need the clock. There we go, there's the clock. I'm not seeing anyone's rolls yet. We also didn't roll any like pre-rolls.
I did.
Oh, did you?
I think the other ones are all.
Yeah.
Oh, it must have been before I joined. Oh no, there we go.
No.
I was scrolled. So it just stopped me where I was. Right, what have we got here? Astros with a 10. I need the clicker. Because Astros wasn't down. Terrence down. Oh, Terrence, same initiative as whatever you rolled last time. Livia with a 7. Livia is on this list.
Hopefully my rolls are really good in
Yeah.
this combat as well.
Yeah.
That's what I'm
I should have
hoping
mentioned
for.
that in the recap. You got like 5 nat 20s in one session.
Yeah.
Didn't save
I did
any
not.
for anyone else.
No, some of you got some nat 20s. I wasn't that greedy with them.
Can I have oh, that's annoying. Hang on, whilst I right click people that I can't see the fucking thing of them. Can I have everyone roll perception for me, please? And I need their stats, so bear with me. Don't open on the right, you bitch.
Oh, nat 1.
Oh,
Off to a
nat
great
20.
start.
Hey!
Oh.
The
I'm
two
blind.
extremes.
Yep. I'm like, there's no one here. You're facing the wrong way. That's where we came from.
I must have got turned around somewhere in the
Yeah.
journey.
I mean,
Somewhere in that
you're
door.
old and you're on a flight of stairs. You're probably holding your back like, oh, fuck. I'm back.
Damn stairs. How dare we be on an incline?
Yeah. My only weakness.
Mild movement.
Anything that isn't standing
Okay.
still and bitching.
So, Vice and Nemea, you guys can see... I just have to remember what I was going to describe to you then. Oh, yes, you can see that these elves, the 5... the 4 closest to you, seem to be more heavily armed than the ones that you've previously fought. And Livia, you can see that they're also more heavily armoured than the ones that you've previously fought. These seem to be more of an elite group surrounding whoever this one differently dressed elf is that you tangoed with previously.
Okay.
And as you burst into this room, they all turn to sort of meet you because the kicking down of the door gets their attention.
Sure. What's all this stuff here? Is that just plants?
It's just plants that have been sort of thrown asunder in the room. Things have been knocked over and
Okay.
whatnot. The music's
Okay.
turned to piano instead of what I was trying to make it. Let me find something else.
Is that a smashed pot with soil coming?
It is.
It is. Yeah.
They'll pay
Oh
for
my
that.
god, soil.
That's what I love.
Finest done. Yeah, it's true.
Fuck,
It
they
is.
smashed the plants? What
Yeah.
did they do?
I mean,
These
aren't they
savages.
elves? Aren't they meant to be kind of like looking after, you know?
I wouldn't say that like domesticated houseplants qualify as like the Wandering Wood forest preservation setup. Cool. So first in combat is the enemy. It's plain but really quiet. I should have put more time into finding relevant music.
Wandering Wood
This'll do.
preservation.
Okay, so given that some of you are down the stairs and the rest of you are at the top, or Nemea's at the top, I'm going to shoot at Nemea because I think she'd be the easiest to hit. Is she within range? Yeah, not a huge room. Okay, so that is a 26. And the mayor, you take... Oh, this music's better, but also loud.
Yeah, the music. Yeah, music's doing it for me.
I'm liking it. Actually tense.
Hang on a minute, I'm no longer in a house. Hang on.
Nemea, you take 14 points of piercing damage as a arrow, or bolt rather, slams into your kind of upper clavicle area, and you see that she then begins reloading a light crossbow in the distance. That is the Central Elf's turn. It is then Red Elves.
Ah, shit.
So, Red Elf, one's going... That's not a d20. One's going for Asteros, because he's closest on that side. I don't have their stats. Here are their stats. That's awful. 13, which will miss. And the other one's going for Taran, because he's at the bottom of the stairs on the other side. That's better. 24. He is also going to shoot a crossbow bolt with different dice, because it's a different crossbow. 9 piercing damage against Taran. And then you see both of those elves also begin to reload their crossbows. That ends their turn. Taran, you're up. Nemea, you're next.
Is my thing not functioning? Damn it. Okay. Oh, that's why I couldn't click on my dude. Right, I'm gonna move to about here because I think that's within range.
Cool. Thanks for the green line. Super useful.
Sorry. How do I get rid of it?
I'll get rid of it. Was that your attempt at the ruler to figure out distances? Yeah. Yeah, it's about 10 of those. Fire.
Being shot on my way, running down towards these fuckers. I'm just do a nice quick little jog up and witch bolt
Go for it. What level?
for this guy here, just level 1.
That'll hit. Just.
Oof. Me forgetting the dice is a d12.
No, I'm
isn't
doing
it?
their health on them. That was what I was doing, because I was like, oh, now I need the book thing. But I was like, no, I was doing it on them before, so we'll carry on doing that for them.
Let's get my spellbook a second. It is a d12, isn't it?
I think so.
Yes, it is. 8
8
damage.
damage. Okay,
Wait,
cool.
plus 5 because of my charisma, because it's lightning.
Okay. So 13 damage.
Yes.
Cool. And we will draw a beam. That's not. We'll do this. No, small. Small.
Small, is it?
The beam is thin in nature. There we go. Anything else on your turn? As this electric energy pulses out from you, hitting him, and the beam maintains as the fight rages on.
I'm going to use my bonus action to get rid of a couple of spell slots and make them into Font of Magic.
What's Font of Magic?
Can I? The sorcery points.
Okay, cool.
And that'll be it.
Cool. Nemea, you're up. Vice, you are next.
Lovely. I'd like
Right.
to cast.
No, Nemea's first.
Wait,
Vice,
Oh,
you
no,
are
no,
next.
shit.
Me first.
I'm hungry, boy. Sorry.
It was the main girl that shot at me, wasn't it?
It was, yes.
Yes, the mayor.
Then I'm gonna return fire.
You can certainly
Fuck
try.
You look better when you're falling off a roof.
I'm gonna use my Stone of Zenny, and I'm gonna re-roll that.
Oh,
That's
good.
not allowed.
Good idea.
Nice.
That's
Not sure
allowed.
you've ever used it before, but sure.
I used it one time before the session after that I got it, and then I remembered because I have them all there now. Great.
Yeah.
Are you joking?
Did you get a second that one? That is amazing.
Then he does not smile on you today.
Yeah.
Okay, Zenny said fuck you.
Zenny says Gilbert gets his throne back.
I'm so mad. Are you kidding? Okay.
As you
I
touch
do nothing,
the
I guess.
stone, Nemea, as you
Maybe
touch
that's
the stone,
not-
you see a figure of something, some sort of humanoid-esque shape in the distance, wearing kind of flowing green robes. It's a woman with kind of long brown hair that also flows into the robes a little bit. And the whole time that you're sort of calling on the powers of Zenny, she sort of forgets to turn and look at you and provide her boon in any fashion. And as a result, when you try and fire this Eldritch Blast, I assume. You instead,
Yeah.
can you roll me the damage for it?
You're joking.
Again, I swear to God, if it fucking hits me.
Just think it this way: you've got all your nat ones out of your system now. Like you must have done. Get 'em out
Okay,
early.
so you suffer 3 damage yourself as you smack the wall in front of you, entirely destroying it. But you can now jump down if you wanted to. It's less than 10 feet. You could jump down to the platform below without having to make your way down the stairs.
Can I go prone to try and give myself cover, even if I move a bit? Like,
Well, you've just taken out the wall in front of you, but in terms of being prone for ranged attacks, they'll still be at, well, you'd have half cover. If you'd have kept the wall, you would have had 3/4 cover, but that's what the nat 1 did show.
okay, then I'll just stay here.
You can go prone if you want. It's still better for ranged attacks coming your way.
Okay, yeah, I'll go prone and
Okay.
I'll move 1 to the left.
Okay, no worries.
Kind of awkwardly like that.
That has lost me my thingy. Hang on. Let me just put this on you. There we go. And then I'm going to put you here. I'm just going to put you here for the sake of like
Yeah, I
you
was
being on
about
the
to do
map rather than... Is that the end of your turn?
Yeah, I'm just gonna yell at Livia and be like, "They're really tough."
She's right next to you, so it's a little loud.
I guess this is like my comeuppance for saying I wanted to abandon the army. So maybe like, this is all RP that, the nat
Karma.
one is that I don't want to be here. That's true.
Livia, you're... no, sorry, Vice, you're up. Livia is not next. Asteros is next.
No.
Vice, you muted. Classic Vice. Had to happen. Last session of the arc, of course you're muted.
This has happened now.
Yes!
Okay, I want to. Josh, you can edit that out, right?
Oh yeah, sure. I do lots of
yeah.
video editing whenever I upload them, 100%. Literally in 55 sessions, I once had to stick 2 videos together. That was all of the editing I've ever done.
Well, you've now got the practice. I'd like to cast Dissonant Whispers on Assassin Lady, please.
What's
It's a
the range
wisdom
on
saving
Dissonant
throw,
Whispers?
60 feet.
Her name is Assassin Bitch. You know?
Okay, yeah, she's in range. Did you say it was a save?
Wisdom.
Ooh. I reckon she's made it. Does it do anything on a thingy? She's got a 20 total.
Uh,
Come on, music, help me out.
half damage if it's
Half damage, okay. Give me the damage. She will take half. Don't you hate it when Discord gives you the option of 49% or 51%? So 5 damage. What do you whisper to her, Vice?
Well, it was gonna be something a bit more, but not with that damage. So,
Where's the...
like you could run, bitch.
Assassin Bitch.
Found you, assassin bitch.
We're going into like a sort of whispery rap just in her ears.
5 damage, okay.
I'm
She
gonna
kind
be
of...
whispering for her a lot.
She looks a little bit confused, but definitely not really damaged, I would say. She's more, like,
Bitchy.
thrown off.
Did that?
Anything else on your turn?
Yes, please. I'd like to give Taryn
Inspiration?
inspiration, please.
Yeah, cool. Sweet. It is then Blue Elf turns. So one of them is going to go for Taryn, because Taryn's attacking his friendo. That's not bad. That's a 24. So Taryn, you will take 7 piercing damage, and I think con save for Witch Bolt or not?
Yes. 7, yeah.
Like proper just sneezed into my hands. 1 sec. Better than on the keyboard.
I succeeded.
Cool. One of them begins to pee themselves, as you can hear water briefly in the background. Right, I'm back. Okay, so maintained. The other one, I'm going to roll an intelligence check for, because really it's in their interest to end that
That
witch
means
bolt.
your palace looks so much better than mine.
Oh, they don't have proper instats. In that case, that's probably a bit low. I'm going to roll a d4. Taryn, even or odd?
Evens.
Cool, he's coming for you.
Then
Ah,
I
but
would
that's pretty
like
shit.
to
Go on.
not do anything. No, never mind.
13. Yeah, just misses you. So he misses you anyway, and that's the end of their turn. Asteros, you're up.
Woohoo! Okay, I'm going to move. So, with regards to the 2 layers, do I have to move around this banister?
Yes.
Curl around to get down?
Yeah. The banister and the
so-
walls are legitimate banisters and walls. The walls go to the ceiling, the banisters decline from about 10 feet up to not very high.
That's 30 feet.
Okay.
I am going to. Do bonus actions have to follow actions, or can you use them first?
You can use them first.
Okay, cool. I'm going to use my bonus action to do Shield of Faith
Okay.
on myself.
Is it a concentration
It is
spell?
It is, yeah.
You're next, Livia.
I don't think I have to roll anything for that, right? It's just.
I think it just
on
happens. It gives you 2 AC, I
Yep.
believe.
2 AC. Yep. Change here. Cool. And then for my action, I want to use Abjure Enemy.
Okay. I
And
don't know what
that's
that is
60
either.
That's a new one. That's 60-foot line of sight on Assassin Lady.
Uh-huh.
Choose a target within 60 foot with line of sight. Target must make a whiz saving throw. If the action is successful, she is frightened and her speed drops to 0 until it next takes damage.
What's your DC?
My spell attack DC?
Spell
Or
save DC.
Spell save 14.
14. Okay.
Yep.
Then it's very much going to matter what her whiz is. Ah. She meets it exactly, unfortunately. I rolled a
Ah,
12.
so- Does that mean it fails?
It fails. I don't know if there's a
Okay.
fail state for it.
There is, yeah. If action fails, her speed is halved until she next takes damage.
Okay, interesting. In that case, let's mark her with something. I'm just going to give her that. I have to turn the music down because people don't make tracks that are 1 volume, apparently. Is that the end of your
what
turn,
happens?
Asteros?
What
That
happens
is,
if
yeah.
you fail?
Her speed is halved until she takes damage.
So she's slow.
Yeah. Cool. Livia, you're up. Taryn, you're next.
I am going to Sacred Flame her. Same one. Crazy woman.
The main one.
Yeah.
Okay.
Assassin bitch. 25 to hit.
Mm-hmm. That'll hit.
And that's a 2d8 radiant damage. I don't think it's anything else, but let me triple check.
Cool.
The music is fitting, man.
Yeah,
Let's
finally.
turn it up. I can't really hear it.
Oh, really? It's quite loud for me, so how loud I have it is how loud the stream hears it, so I'm not going to turn it up. You can turn it up.
Oh, I should remember that. The target gains no benefit from cover for this saving throw. Not that it matters now.
Okay,
but-
she's not in any sort of cover, so that's fine. Anything else on your turn?
Oh, apparently it's a dex saving throw, not a to hit.
Okay, then I'll make a dex saving throw. That's quite high. 20 total.
Yeah.
So does she take half damage?
No.
Well, she takes no damage.
Yeah. it's
Oh,
fine,
okay,
so-
cool. She is happy
fine.
about that. So you kind of call down this radiant energy, but in the heat of the battle and sort of looking at everyone around you, you don't get the proper lining up that you need for it to burn down on her, and it kind of singes part of the wall behind, and she kind of looks over her shoulder and turns back to the fight, crossbow ready. Also, Olivia, can you put your health on, please? And Vice. Anything else on your turn, Olivia?
No.
Okay. It's then her turn. She's got a bit of a choice because we've got quite a few things going on here with all of the people. I feel like Taryn and Asteros are mostly the forefront though, but it's maybe Taryn that's obviously a threat. That doesn't count because it landed on top of another dice. See, that's not very good. Okay, this time we'll give it to Asteros. Odds or evens, Asteros? That didn't come through.
Evens?
Evens. Okay, she's going for
Yeah.
Taryn. Okay, that's a
I'm using my Bardic Inspiration dice to up my AC.
fabulous. What does that make your AC? Because this is a 28.
Jeez.
Well, then that's wasted.
Oh, you roll
16.
for it.
Because
Fair
remember, I
enough.
have to do it before you say it.
Yes,
So
yeah.
I've
That's
wasted
good.
it.
No, that's fine. A legitimate use. So yeah, she's going for Taryn. She's firing her crossbow because she's too slow to reach you and attack with her many attacks that she gets with her swords. I already rolled to hit. I don't know why I'm rolling to hit again. Let's just roll the damage die. Oh, that's the wrong die. That's for the other guys. 11 damage. And I need a con save from you.
Yep. It's the 13 and 21 there. How much damage, sorry?
11. So you're fine on concentration. She fires off a crossbow bolt. It kind of slams into your upper leg, and you kind of scream out in pain for a moment. You have to like lean down and pull part of the bolt out for the wound to not get any worse. And you look back up as you've had the whole time your hand held up to try and continue this witch bolt on. It is then the red elves. This one's going to move straight up to you.
Yeah.
Because why wouldn't he? 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30. Okay, that's as far as he can get. So the one going for Taryn, that's pretty shit. That's a 13, which I think misses.
Oh, fucking.
And the
good.
one trying to shoot Asteros, that's much better, is a 27, 28? 28.
So that hits.
Cool. So, Asteros, you take 11 piercing damage as he shoots you with a crossbow bolt, spends his bonus action loading it. I need you to make a con save for me, please. So, see if you maintain Shield of Faith.
So I actually have advantage on this because of Warcaster.
Yeah, great.
So that's con is 3.
Warcaster's great.
Oh, ignore that because I put D0.
Yes, that's not a
Yeah.
real thing.
9
That
or
fails.
8. Fuck.
Oh, okay, yeah, sorry, you had the advantage. They still fail.
Yep.
But that's fine. Your AC drops. But it's still applied for that attack at the very least. So that drops by 2.
Yeah, that's
and
fine.
that is their turn. Taryn, you're up. Nemea, you're next.
Oh,
I might just go grab the Disaronno and Coke. I can do that with my headset on still.
Yes, Josh. Love that.
Oh, I'm just going to bring it up rather than keep going down, because...
Yeah, do it. Last session.
Yeah, it's
Yeah,
going to
I mean,
flick
I
out.
made it a good one for the last session. Let's see.
What is
Oh.
that? Gin?
Gordon's. Is that gin?
Pink gin?
Pink gin.
Pink gin.
Yes.
Oh, decadent.
You're so cute.
How elaborate.
Posh boy.
Posh.
Is it brunch already?
I have a dime bar and a bottle of water.
For the final session. Okay.
Ooh, I think after this Disaronno, I'm out of booze. I think there might be the dregs of some various vodkas, but I'm basically done on this Disaronno. That's maybe one glass.
Here is
yeah,
my question.
this needs to
In
last.
terms of my very nice, powerful spell, does a line have to be specifically on the blocks, or can it just be a line in any direction?
What line?
The lightning bolt line.
It doesn't need to be like on the blocks. It can be like it's basically ruled by me. But if you want to line it up, holding down Alt so that you can show me roughly what you're going for, I'm happy to rule either way based on what you're going for.
Cool. I'm going to run straight over here.
Okay, that's an attack of opportunity though.
Yeah,
Okay, cool.
I'm prepared.
Okay,
The most aggressive freaking.
20. So you will suffer. It's not a bad roll. 12 slashing damage as he cuts you on the way over. I need a con save.
Yeah. Not intending on keeping it anyway, because I'm just going to, almost as if I'm repurposing the lightning magic that's coming off my arm, it just sort of like reforms ready in that, like I said, the light railgun punch stance, and I want to punch in a nice
So the first guy's failed, the second guy's passed, the last guy's passed. It's a dex save, yeah?
yes.
Yeah. So you fail, pass, pass from closest to furthest.
So it is. Double check.
In terms of those people on the stream that don't know how Roll20 works, if you use the ruler normally it snaps to the grid, but if you hold Alt you can move it however you want. So because of the freedom of Lightning Bolt, it doesn't have to go from the corner of a square to another corner of a square, which is kind of how they properly rule things. We're a bit looser so that you can do cool stuff.
Smack.
Nice. So it's half of that on a save, right?
Yeah. And if there's anything flammable around that isn't being worn or carried, it's ignited.
Cool. I'd say you probably singe the fuck out of some plants. He
My
hasn't
plants!
been hit yet. So that's
Oh, do that again.
38, halved down to 19.
I'm gonna just shout back as I do that. Not a lot of power left.
Okay.
And then I'm gonna swig my 1 potion of healing that I have. 2d4 plus 2.
Cool. So you fire off this beam of lightning energy, immediately slamming like a hole that disintegrates some of the edges around the wood elf-looking guy in front of you, and dissipating slowly as a result of the force of the initial impact on the frontal elf across the two in the distance. They both manage to kind of jump and roll out of the way, getting a bit of the damage. As you see kind of static energy flow around them, they're both still standing, though this one not nearly as much as the one behind him. Is that the end of your turn, Taryn?
Yep.
Cool. Nemea, you are up. Vice, you are next. Vice?
Right, with
No,
my
Nemea, sorry.
vigor,
My bad.
Yeah.
For a second, I thought it was Max's turn. I was like, he's definitely muted again.
I will
Not this-
try and go for Mr. Orange this time. And I will go for a nice Eldritch
I
Blast.
don't know that you've got a shot on him
26.
without standing up.
Oh, okay. Well, I can stand up then.
Okay.
I will do that. And I got a 26.
Yeah, 26 will hit.
So I hit him. And then
Fuck off.
10 plus 4 for my agonizing blast. 19 damage
He is down.
on this
Jesus.
Mr. Orange. Yes!
Slam him with
I
the
did
Eldritch
something!
Blast.
A new
Yeah.
way
I
to run the
redeemed.
mayor.
I feel like I ripped the crossbow bolt out and just stood up and blasted him.
Yeah, very much so.
Mhm.
Anything else on your turn?
I'm
Duck back
gonna. Yeah, I'm gonna duck. I'm gonna duck back down.
Okay, I will leave you to put the prone icon on your token because it's fucking annoying.
Could I do it at the end of
Yeah,
the
you can do it there. That's fine, and that makes it
Yeah,
easier to put it on
I'll
you. So
run
then
down.
I can do it myself.
Yeah. I'll run down to the end of the stairs and go prone again.
Cool.
End of my turn.
Okay, Vice, you're up. Astros, you're next.
Okay. Can I do another Distant Whispers, but on this this one right here?
Yeah. Was it a save? It was a wisdom save, right?
Wisdom save.
Ooh, not bad. That's an 18. Yep, that is an 18.
Come on. Yeah.
What do you whisper?
Right, well, it still gets. Would you stop?
I should I should have played a bard in your one shot so that I could do all these things and you could constantly be like, "What do you say, Josh? Huh? What do you whisper to him? What song do you play? Play me a song, bitch."
There we go.
Nice. So 6 damage, and I don't need to book because his health is on him. He had 6 health. So, what do you say that causes this man to die?
You're just in my way.
Oh,
That's it.
So he kind of
That's
looks at
it.
you. He's already been quite damaged. He's kind of seeing Taran with this electrical energy around his hand, and in like a fit of worry, he kind of hears this from nowhere, and initially kind of standing shakily anyway, just goes like, "Ah, ah," and looks and sees you like eyeing him down, and he just like forgets it, drops his crossbow, turns to run, trips over his foot, and smacks his jaw on the stone floor, and does not get back up again. He is dead.
I don't even. He doesn't even see me actually speak. I just look at him. I can.
There's like
No,
an
it's-
there's like an
no.
eeriness. He kind of looked in that direction,
that's it.
and all you hear is like a, and then as something snaps on the hard ground, and he doesn't move anymore. Anything else on your turn?
Fantastic. Yes, please. I'd like to give inspiration, please, to Asteros.
oh,
Okay.
you're too kind.
Kill that bitch.
Hey.
So I can click off these guys because they're both dead. This elf is then going to shoot some people. We're going for.
No stripes, Sergeant. Come on.
I'm going to go for Asteros. That is a. Well, firstly, it looks like it's going to hit. Do you want to use your Bardic Inspiration to potentially raise your AC?
This is the first time I've had it. What does it do?
You get a D8,
Do
and it will
a-
up your AC by whatever you roll. If you wanted to use it in that way, you can use this D8 on anything except damage.
Anything except damage.
That's right.
Okay. Yeah.
Okay,
So I can
roll
still
it, and
use-
we'll
I
see
can,
what it...
I can. Sorry. So I can still use it to hit. I just can't use it for damage.
You can use it to hit, yeah, but if you use
Yep.
it now for your AC, it's gone.
I don't want to use it now.
Okay,
Okay, then.
cool. In that case, you do get hit at a 21. And you will suffer... Not great. 7 piercing damage. That is the end of their turn. It is then your turn, Asteros.
Fantastic. 7. Cool.
Music has
Okay,
such, like, blank spots for no reason. Sorry, carry on.
No, just 1 second.
You're working out range.
Yes. So down here, this is all like flat, right? There's
Yes.
different tiers or anything.
Yeah. The only section of elevation is the raised staircase that was the way in.
That's cool. Okay, I'm gonna move my full 30 feet, and then I'm gonna use my second level slot to cast Misty Step,
Okay, cool.
which then pushes me another 30 feet.
Yeah, you can teleport
right,
30
yeah.
feet anywhere.
Yep.
That's a
So I'm
bonus
gonna be
action
right-
to do.
Yep. So I'm right in her face.
Uh-huh.
And then I would like to hit her in the face with a Divine Smite.
Okay, you need to hit first.
Yes. So that is. Sorry.
Don't forget Bardic.
Yeah. So how does that work? Do I roll?
So you roll
roll at the
normal,
end, or-
and then you can roll a d8 afterwards. You have to choose to use the Bardic Inspiration after you've seen the result of your roll, but before you know the outcome.
Okay, I'm gonna use it to hit.
Well, you might get a nat
Or-
20, and then you don't need to use it. Assuming
I don't
that
know what her AC is.
a 20... Yeah, exactly. So you currently don't know what her AC is. You've rolled a 19. Do you want to use your Bardic
Yeah.
Inspiration?
I do.
Okay, roll it.
Okay.
And I'll take the Bardic Inspiration off.
5.
5. So
24.
collectively a 24. That definitely hits.
Fantastic.
Yes.
Can I hit her in the face with a Divine Smite?
Yeah, sure. Roll damage.
Specifically in the face.
Presumably you're almost out of slots, though, right?
This is my last slot, so it's all or nothing.
She
So
looks
it's a D10
fine. I
plus
will say from
strength.
this close, she looks fine.
Okay. Oh, for fuck's sake, nat 1, really? Second one of the session of my 2 rolls?
Well, it's only really nat 1 on a d20, but yeah, still not great for damage. So
Oh, fine.
3,
Okay.
and then your
Last
Divine Smite
smite.
damage.
Yeah, which is a D8.
At first level, yep.
7.
Cool, not
10.
bad. So 10 total. Decent enough. Oh, that's easy to take off with the number that she was on. Cool, so you slam the hammer into her as I throw my pen on the floor for no reason. And it kind of like shunts her to the side a little bit. She manages to just about bring her blades down so that they're kind of behind the hammer and it absorbs some of the damage. She then like pushes them back against you and flips one in the air so that it's the right way up again. She's got like one towards you and one facing down. You still have extra attack because you
I
don't
do
need a
have
bonus to use extra attack if you take the attack action. So you get to hit again.
Do it. X. So that would be.
And there's literally no
That'll
downside
miss.
to using it.
Yeah.
Yeah, except when it misses.
Yeah.
No, with the second one, I was so big and so hype on the first one. The second one
Is that the end of your turn?
Certainly is.
Livia, you are up.
Hello.
Hello.
I would like to sacred.
We're all still
Flame
here.
This guy.
Okay. Is it a roll to hit or a save? It was a save, right?
Deck save. Yeah.
It was a 1. It rolled over to a 5, which is a 7 for him.
So he takes 2d8 radiant damage, and then can't get cover. Oh, you didn't have that anyway.
That's fine. He doesn't have cover, so I won't track that. 8.
8
He
damage.
has not been hit yet, so he's still standing as this kind of radiant fire energy starts to spread around him. You hear him panic and curse something in Elvish as he like pats it down and manages to spread it out, dissipate it. Anything else on your turn?
No, I'll move there, and I will. I'll stay there.
Okay. It is then the one in front of Astros. Astros, this debuff that she has, that's gone now, right?
Yep, it was gone as soon as she took damage.
Cool.
Not that she ever.
Well, she just took some damage. She never moved, yeah, but that's fine. So now her turn. You, right in front of her, she's going to try and hit you. 21. And...
Gets 19.
Ooh, that's not as good. 18. So she'll miss on the second attack, but she will hit you with the first one. And roll trash on the dice. Better on the second one. 10 damage.
10 damage.
She cuts you up twice. And then with you annoyingly this close to her, she's going to disappear.
Now, is this going to be blocked by Sentinel?
Only if you can make an attack of opportunity and hit with it.
Okay, because it says disregards disengage. Does this not count as engage? She's teleporting?
So teleportation, which I didn't say she was doing, would stop you having the opportunity to attack her because she's not turning her back and running away, giving you the time to attack her, to attack of opportunity her. If somebody teleports from within 5 feet of you, they just poof gone and you don't get the time to hit them. If she runs, then you get the chance, and if you get the chance and succeed, it cancels her movement speed entirely. However, she is going to teleport.
But not because you said.
But because I chose to. Unfortunately, because of the walls, she can't teleport very far. So she's going to teleport to here and then go 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30 down to here.
So no attack of opportunity then?
No, because she teleported first. She does have a
When it
limited
says
use
disengage,
of those.
it means the specific disengage action. which
Oh,
any of us could
right.
do. So you know how we can hold our action or
Mhm.
we can dash? Disengage is another form that
So
you can do.
you
So
use
can
your
use your
action
action
to stop the attack.
disengage.
Unless you're a
so if an
rogue,
enemy does
then you
that,
can use
that's
your
the
bonus
thing.
action to disengage.
Cool.
Yeah.
And that would negate an attack of opportunity. So that is her turn, having hit you once and legged it. It is then Taryn, and the mayor is next. Taryn, you don't know she's there. I'm going to say roll perception for me. I won't use your passive perception. Give me a perception roll.
Nope.
You can't see her. She's gone. You saw her poof in front of Asteros, and that is it. There is still an elf on the battlefield who's alive that you can see.
Well, I'm running my full movement over here.
Okay.
That is gone. Didn't realise
Honestly, none of you know where she is at this point.
that's the wrong button. I'm gonna shocking grasp this guy.
Okay.
Hmm.
I think it's a roll to hit.
Yes. Da-da-da-da-da.
I'll hit.
Oh, very good. And that is 2d. Totally. Why am I forgetting all of the fucking damage rolls today? Yeah, it is that. +5. Zappy zappy.
Nice. That's a decent amount of damage, which he will survive.
And then I'm gonna just sort of, as I'm sort of running around, zap him and then just jump back 5 feet for the full movement and turn myself.
Because he has no reactions, right?
Yep.
As a result of shock and grasp, let me hit him up with something. We're going to go with this. Cool. Nemea, you're up. Vice, you're next.
Sorry, can I ask? We don't know that she's here.
You don't know she's there because of the height of the wall. It's the height of this room.
Oh, she's on the wall. Is that
She's the
what
other
this
side
is?
of the wall to where you are.
Ah, okay.
Oh,
I will do my
this is
max.
a wall.
20.
I did say that a while ago.
Ah. thought that
I
was,
don't know why, but I thought you meant like round the
Yeah,
room.
I
I did
thought-
think it was a bit
I
odd why
Yes,
you were
there's
telling me there were
walls around the room as well. It's how it's
I know.
held up.
I was like, okay.
I thought this was the
sure.
walkway.
I
I
didn't
thought
quite
this was the
understand what you
walkway.
meant. Now
So-
I understand.
This is a wall. Is that going to work? Yeah, there we go. I think I have to right click. I'm not sure yet. And this is a
Yeah,
wall.
that worked.
Yeah. So is she above, as in?
No, she's the other
She's
side
not-
of the wall.
Okay. She's not above us.
You can't see through walls, and she is not seeable from your angle because of this wall.
The
I'm
mayor
just
did a big
confirming
zap.
if she's above us or just on the same level. As
Well,
everyone
technically,
else.
she's below you because you're still at the top of the stairs.
That's fine. That's perfect.
We should not be talking about how Nemea just did a big zap.
I was
Nice.
letting the conversation happen.
Yeah, that's cool. So you
Oh,
I
no.
zap
stop myself being
friendo.
prone.
Again, result.
Yep, I'll stop being prone and, go around the stairs to here so I get a clear shot at him.
Where were you
and then
before?
just blast him with a
10,
blast.
15.
I was
Just behind
I was
me.
here.
Oh, you were there. You were there. Cool.
Yeah.
Yeah,
and I just
then
went
you're not
bloop,
prone
bloop,
anymore.
bloop. Yeah.
And yeah, you totally hit him. He dies. as
Yay!
you obliterate him with this
Yeah.
lightning
Blast him
energy.
back 10 feet
Double
as well.
kill.
It's like he got fucking pushed.
Yeah. The
For the
eldritch
trick.
energy slams him like this way as he fully is dead. So at this point, to the best of
I
your
will
guys'
then
knowledge,
cast Shillelagh on my quarterstaff. just
everyone, the
you
fight
know,
is
and
over.
That's me done.
That's cool.
It's not
You
though.
cast Shillelagh. Vice, you're up, and currently you can't see anyone on the battlefield. It's fair to say that you would potentially go down the stairs, but if you were thinking of going down, I feel like it's probably an int check as to whether or not you would simply step off the hole that Nemea made, because that's a quicker route.
I was gonna do I have enough space to jump?
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah. It's about because of the two half boxes. It's like, well, there's only one half box on the map, but yeah, I'd say you get a 10 feet run up.
Fantastic. Well, I'm just going to jump then. I don't have to roll for it, so.
No, you just go that distance.
Let's go the
You're like a
distance.
gazelle lately, Vice.
I just
Yeah,
turn
well,
around to
you know, ever
Astaroth and I'm
since-
like, why the
Prancing
fuck is he
around.
Yeah. Ever since I found out that I have the ability to do it.
I bought a
Which
ring of
was
jumping, but I didn't know what
ages
it
ago.
did.
No, but I thought that there was some sort of negative effect of it, of me having to do it every time.
No,
but
potentially a deck save depending on how ridiculous your jump is, but you just jumped down a distance that would have dealt no full damage anyway, so even if you fumbled the whole thing, you'd still be fine, so it's fine.
Cool, lovely. So, in this position right now, I don't know where she is.
Don't know where she is. Solid walls.
Is she invisible?
I didn't say she was invisible. I just said you can't
I
see
thought-
her.
I thought she was. Okay. Right. Well, I am just going to, because I don't know where she is.
I would say that the turn order is still in effect.
Well, I'm going to just move to this location, and that is it. And I'm going to just give myself inspiration, please.
Okay.
Thank you very much.
Inspiration.
sure I can
The
do
number of
that, okay.
inspirations you get is equal to your charisma mod, right?
Yeah, I've only
So you got 2 left.
I've got 2 left.
Cool.
That's it.
Is that the end of your turn?
It's the end of my turn. So.
Cool. At the top of the round, for these guys, 2 more blue dudes appear. Not on 4 HP as the other one was that I copied. They don't just magically appear in the middle of the room. They burst through the doorway at the top. Let me just spin them around. And it is their
like
turn.
a video game glitch where their model just sort of T-poses in the middle of the room and then
Yeah. So this one's going to run this way and go for Livia, and this one's going to go here and probably go for Vice. So here we go. Not bad.
Try.
That's a 26 to hit Livia. And that is 9 damage, Livia, as slashing attack from the elf closest to you, as it seems whatever's going on here, a quick fight is required to prevent backup from entering. The other one fires a crossbow bolt at you, Vice. Nat 20. So you take...
Damn!
Oh, and max dice. You take 16 piercing damage, Vice.
Oh, dude. Why?
As these two join the fight. That is their turn. That guy begins to start reloading his crossbow. I would say that all of you hear this, the doors get knocked aside again as the elves move in. There's the clanking of metal against steel as Livia attempts to raise her shield in time to deflect a blow. And like the of a crossbow bolt being fired. So Astros, it's your turn. You would be aware of the fight behind you at this point. And Livia, you're next.
When she teleported away from was there any visual element to that whatsoever?
Yeah, I would say maybe like a small puff of smoke in front of you.
Yeah. And did that puff of smoke have any kind of direction to it?
No.
No, nothing at all.
Nope. And trust me, you wouldn't want it to, because I would use that shit against you and Nemea all the time.
Okay.
I would say that she was briefly surrounded by silvery mist.
I want to use my action to use my full lay on hands. 28 of them anyway, out of 30.
Okay. Are you keeping 2 behind?
Well, yeah, I mean, I can't use them.
I would say that, like, just from you haven't used Lay on Hands a whole lot before. It's great to heal. It only takes 1 hit point to recover somebody from unconscious to conscious again.
That's true. All right, I'll tell you what. I'll use 20 of them. How about that? Keep some in reserve.
I feel like I would have screwed you over if I hadn't said that, and then somebody goes down, and you're like, "Oh shit, I spent all my Lay of Hands."
I'd have still had 2.
I know, but if 3 people go down, like,
if 3 people go down, it's a pattern at that point. All right, it's not my problem. I've healed up to 50.
Okay, cool.
Okay, so that's action.
It's an action, right?
Yes, all of my bonus actions require spell slots, which I don't have. So let's just have a quick look. Yeah, they all do. So I will move back. Moonwalking apparently, because I can't turn my thing.
I can turn you.
There we go.
Yeah, there you go. With your little blue tail.
Yeah, I'll move back down to the middle of the pool.
By the way, I would say that I quite heavily edited this map, so I'd be interested to know if you guys can see where it's been edited. I feel like I've done a pretty good job.
I don't know, I'm gonna guess it's something to do with this here.
No, no, that's part of it.
Yeah, the brown lines definitely look added.
Brown lines.
Yeah, the wall. They just look like MS Paint, straight pixel lines. Is that what you added?
No, those are, like, I just drew them earlier. Like, this is just to show you that this is a wall. They're not actually there.
Oh, okay.
This brown line is...
Yeah, I thought they weren't there earlier.
Yeah, they weren't. No, I added that during this fight just
stairs?
to confirm it's wall. No, it's not, but it wasn't a guessing game to take up the next 20 minutes.
We can play it all day.
I'll tell you later.
I don't care. That's what we want to do for this session.
Hey guys, number 10 will surprise you.
Wow.
Oh
I ended my
God,
turn, by
I
the way,
hate
so
this
whoever's
fucking
next.
Okay, Livia, you're up then. And Taryn, you're next.
Next.
Okay, I am going to try to hit with my Lunari blade, my lightsaber.
Okay, cool.
Zoom.
Double-sided lightsaber, that will miss.
I'm rolling terrible today. Like, absolutely terrible.
Is that your whole turn?
Yeah.
Because you came in with very, very few slots as a result of not being able to long rest.
Try 0.
Good. That's intentional. Cool. So that is your turn. This person then goes 5, 10, 15, 20 and approaches Vice.
No.
2 attacks on our good friend Vice.
Exactly what I wanted from here. Come to me.
So that's a 20. No, it's a 30.
Oh shit.
Jesus.
Because I rolled very high. And
Maybe
that's a
not
Bundy.
what I wanted.
Was she a plus 11?
Yeah, she is a plus 11. And a 24.
Shit.
So, good guess. Yeah, she's exactly a plus 11.
See?
She wasn't a plus 10. That would have been much more terrifying.
11 damage on the first Vice.
I
And...
can't use inspiration, no? To up my team.
Sure, roll it. We'll see if you
No,
can beat a
no.
24 on the second. I already said what it was, but I'm happy for you to give it a go. I said it
No,
quickly.
it's okay. No, you've already said it. No, let's stick
No,
to
but
the-
like I said it too quickly for you to have had a chance to respond. So the first one's
No.
hitting either way, so you're taking 11 damage. But if you want to roll it and see if you would have negated a 24, the second one was a 24. Roll it.
No, don't worry about it.
Are you sure?
Yep, I'm sure.
Okay, then I'm rolling damage on the second one. It was my bad, not yours, so I'm happy for you to do it. Last chance. Okay,
It's okay.
it's a further
Going
11
down.
damage. It's 22 total.
Boy, oh my days.
And then given how well it went previously, I think she's gone again. Yep. And given that you won't be able to see where she goes, I'm going to do this.
Oh.
So, with a silvery mist that Nemea and Asteros will recognise, she disappears once more. And it is then Taryn's turn. Nemea, you're next.
Do I have any prior knowledge of this spell in terms of like range and such?
Roll Arcana. I will say that it's probably going to cost you a bonus to do this. Are you cool with that?
Yeah, that's fine.
Cool.
Anyway.
No, that's fine. Regardless of the roll, let me just bring up the spell and check if you can learn it. Because if you can't, it's going to change my answer. I think you can. I think you can. Yes, you can. You saw the silvery outline to be a spell that you've seen Nemea and Asteros do before, and you've only ever seen them do it at short to mid ranges, but that doesn't necessarily mean that they couldn't have done it at long ranges if they wanted to. That's all you get on a 7.
To shout out what I know about it.
You would probably need to roll Arcana as well, because you didn't roll Arcana. That was just Taryn's inspection of it. If I'll allow you to roll Arcana out of turn and lose your bonus action on your next turn. If you're cool with that?
Yeah, well, I don't have any bonus actions left, so...
You'd have a bonus
2.
action on your next turn.
Sake.
Okay, cool. So, you burn the bonus, but you don't get the chance to shout the information. When it comes to your turn, Asteros, you could do that as a reaction, but you have lost your bonus action regardless.
Based on seeing where she came from before, and the fact that I've only seen the spell used at short ranges, I'm going to assume she could be back around this direction, so I'm going to run 10, 15, 20, 25, and look down here.
Fair enough. You see this.
Guess.
I'm going to immediately just shout out, I found the trickster. And then I'm going to... This is very... I don't know if I really want to do it.
Do it. Drop those minute meteors.
You're basically out of slots, aren't you? You burned a lot of them for points, and you've used a lot of them.
Yes, and yes.
You could swap them back, to be fair. I don't know how many sorcery points you're sitting on, but you could swap them back.
I'm going to stand here and I'm going to hold... I can hold an attack action, right?
You can, yeah.
I'm going to hold my shocking grasp and I'm just going to sort of point at her and go, like the... You know, the whole Neo
Morpheus
stance of like...
Yeah.
A Morpheus, yeah.
What's the trigger? Is it just based on her getting within range?
Within 5 feet, because that's the range of...
Okay, cool. Nemea, you are up. Vice, you are next. Music, what are you doing to me? Seriously. What is this just period of silence right now? Useless.
Right. I'm going to turn
it's gone to sad times.
And run to Livia.
Okay.
Like, I'll be in like this square, I guess. So kind of on the stairs, kind of not. So I can attack this guy.
Yeah, that's fine.
And
We'll move you here for the sake of the map.
And I'm going to shocking grasp him.
Cool. Save or to hit?
It's to hit.
Okay.
To hit.
That will, I think, hit.
There's no way
thing? That hits. Oh, there it is. The music woke up as I turned it to like 60%.
If the 18 didn't hit, that would be very distressing.
It's an 8, right? Isn't it? 2d8. Pretty sure.
Okay, good damage.
And now he doesn't have reactions.
Okay.
So I want to use mine to yell at Livia and tell her to back away. Be like, we should move away. And then I'll move myself back as well.
Okay, cool. Is that the end of your turn, Nemea?
Yeah.
Vice, you are up and looking bloody.
Yeah. Damn,
but I would say you do know her location as a result of Taryn's shout.
Oh man, but it doesn't really matter because like I am so low. I'm just going to cast level 2 cure wounds on myself, please, and that is all my level 2 slots done.
Okay. So roll them out. We'll see what you get. I assume you're doing that anyway.
I am.
Not terrible.
What? Come on.
That averages out above average, so not terrible. 12 health recovered. Is that the end of your turn?
No. Can I just give inspiration, please, to Livia?
Okay.
Need to get out of there, Livia.
Anything else?
No, that's me. Thank you very much.
Cool.
Let me get my
Astros, you are next. However, in the meantime, one of these elves is going for Livia, and he rolled a 2, so that's an 11. So he misses. I assume you don't want to use your Bardic Inspiration to up your AC when I rolled a 2. The other one's going to try and shoot Asteros, and that's much higher. I don't think you have anything anymore, Asteros, do you? You don't have any need me to tell you what the roll is before you thingy it. It's a 24.
No.
So you will get hit, and you will suffer
Big
max
ouch.
damage, 12 piercing damage as you are shot with a bolt that embeds itself in part of your armor. You have to kind of snap it off and then spend some time clawing at it. You like sheathe your shield back on your back for a moment, properly pull it out, and then get your shield back out again. That is the end of their turn. It is then Asteros' turn.
Great. Okay, I'm going to, having heard Taran, I'm going to move my full 30 feet as such. Yeah. Whoop,
You can get one higher than that
whoop.
if you wanted to.
And
He's running backwards. To the moonwalk. Oh my god.
He's been walking all over again.
So am I allowed to use my I can't use my bonus action. Can I use my reaction to shout?
Yes. Yeah, on this turn, you have your reaction to shout if you want to.
Taran! I'm gonna try and box her in! She can't teleport out if there's one of us at each end! And then I'm going to use my action. And I know what you're saying about dropping heals, but I'm actually fairly low on health considering where I am. Lay on hands the last
What do you mean
10.
dropping heals? Oh, yeah, no, it's fine. It's your ability. I gave you that warning earlier, so it's up to you.
Yep. At this point, I feel like I need it more. So I'm just going to use my last 10 points of lay on hands to up myself. And that's the end of my turn.
Okay. Livia, you're up. Taran, you're next.
So can I move, or has it been his turn, so he now has his reaction back?
It has been his turn, so he does have
Yeah,
his
he hit you.
reaction back.
Damn.
I think he missed you, but yeah, he did.
Oh, he went to hit
It
you.
did come back to his turn, so yeah. Nemea did
Yeah.
get the advantage of it being able
Yeah,
to move away
it
from
was
him.
beneficial, but now it's not. So it's not her fault.
He's as armored and as equipped as the rest of the elves that you guys have taken down in this room so far.
Okay, deck save. Really sick.
Okay. 7.
He'll take 2d8 radiant damage.
Okay.
10.
Whew, okay. So you burn this radiant fire all over him as you reach your hand out, and it like licks up the side of his face and over his armor, and he's kind of trying to pat it off, and by the time it's all gone, he has like burn marks up the side of his face, down his arms, he's bleeding, he doesn't look well at all. But he is still standing.
Yeah, I figured. I'm just going to glare at him quite heavily and hold my shield.
Okay, cool. Is that the end of your turn?
I'm not going anywhere. Yeah.
Cool. It is then this person's turn. She goes 5, 10, 15 up to here and is going to attempt to beat the shit out of Taran.
Shocking grasp, bitch.
That's true. So, give me the to hit. That'll hit.
23.
Give me the damage. Well remembered, because I had forgotten. It wouldn't have changed what she
18
did,
damage.
but
Nice.
okay, cool.
Very nice.
So in that sort of, as she runs up to me and tries to go to slash out, I'm going to duck underneath her move and just pelt her with it in the chest, like right in the gut, with a nice good zap.
You see her kind of grimace as your hand manages to reach her, and she's reaching out with the blade, and this electric energy overtakes her and she suffers this immense damage. She sort of grits her teeth through it and thrusts forwards and hits you for a 30, and then follows up with a 21. Not a great roll.
Thanks.
So you take... I don't know if this song has lyrics, but I'm hearing weird talking.
There is
Yeah.
some talking, yeah.
6
so
damage
do I.
on the first,
Yikes.
followed by 10 damage on the second.
Ooh.
She then goes...
There's like a war going on.
Yeah, I think she's going to do it. She's going to move
Accurate.
away. 5, 10, 15, 20. She's going to move to here. You get an attack of opportunity, Taran.
Fair enough. I'm a zapper again. Ah, not. It's a 12. I am at this point spewing blood from my mouth. I am very upset.
She then disappears, but not off the map. Though I think I'll do it this way. Bear with me. So she disappears as far as everyone's concerned. And then I'm going to do a thing that none of you will see except the person in question. And that's the end of her turn. Taryn, you're up.
Fuck.
Also, on her turn, she would have immediately got her reaction back, right? Because you shocking grasped her out of turn.
Yes.
No, you get it back at the start of your turn. If you lost reactions, it's back at the start of your turn.
That's a risky one. Fuck it, right. 5, 10, 15, 20, 25. Gonna move 40 feet with the dash action.
Okay.
Just to see if she's up this section of the room.
Well, that saves the message that I sent to the mayor, as you see her there.
Cool. And I'm going to then use the last of my sorcery points and magic to cast Blur on myself.
Okay.
In a desperate attempt to make
Survive.
Just put that down to 9 anyway. And then I've got...
Give yourself some sort of icon.
yeah. And I'm just gonna hold myself here and then shout out again. This side! Stupid
Okay.
bitch!
In the
Nemea.
distance, you just hear Astros go, oh!
She's given Astral such a run around.
That's so far!
Nemea, you're up.
I see her over there, but because of the two people here, I'm still gonna attack this one to try and
That's fine.
free Livia.
Thanks.
Eldritch Blast. Nat 20!
You will hit. You will certainly hit.
Damn, the mayor's just on
This
it.
guy is fucking dead.
He's probably on like 2 health.
So that's 26 damage?
Yep.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, because you double the
26. Not the
dice,
plus.
not the additional. He only had 1 health, so he goes down.
Damn!
Did it explode?
Man,
Yeah,
that was
like-
Can I not hit into this guy as
You
some
like
ricochet
blast
and a nat
off part of
20?
his arm.
That'd be good.
Let me check him. Give me 1d10.
1d10.
He is on the edge. I was thinking
Give
we
it
could
a
push
10.
him
Come
off.
on, give it a 10.
Okay.
6.
It does seem like the blast continues through and does something to the guy slightly further as you see him kind of get blasted by a bit of electrical energy, purely because you blew the arm off the one closest to Livia. But you have also gained the attention
Brutal.
of both of the remaining elves in the room at this point.
Oh god. I'm gonna. Can I hide in this? can I
Can I hide in this wall?
For the sake of
Can I
not
hide
going
in the
so
wall?
low that it's not part of the map properly, I'm going to bring you up 1. But yeah, you can go down there.
Okay.
Is that the end of your turn?
Yeah, I'm gonna. Oh no, there's nowhere to go. Like pro behind Nat. I'll stay as I am.
Okay.
And I can't hold anything.
You could
can
go on
I?
the
So-
No, you just used your action.
Yeah. Okay, then I won't do anything.
Okay, Vice, you're up.
Fantastic. Okay, so now I know that she's here.
You know where
I'm
she
going
is, yeah.
to- Yeah, I'm going to slide into her vision here.
Uh-huh.
Thank you,
There
Vice.
you are.
You!
You got away from me last time. And so I'm gonna go up to her here, please.
Mm-hmm.
And I'd like to bestow curse on her, please.
Is it a save?
Dastardly
Uh,
wench.
Wisdom.
It is a wisdom saving throw, please.
Check out that memory.
I don't know if I can do this quick enough for it to even be worth doing, but here we go. Come on, light. It's an 18 total.
Fuck's sake, man!
I sent my roll into the group chat. She rolled your DC and then she has a plus.
this fight right now. Every attempt. Oh man, come on. Okay. All right. Well, that's that. I guess.
Does it have any half effect or anything? No.
Mm-mm.
Okay.
Nope. It just needs to hit. That's it. It needs to be successful. Okay, cool. So can I use my bonus action to just drink a potion then?
Yeah,
please?
certainly. So, what potion have you got?
I have a superior
Nice.
potion of
8d4 plus 8.
8.
Those ain't cheap.
Plus 8. Yeah, well, I need it.
8d4, fucking hell, that's so much dice.
Oh,
Yeah, that's not how you roll.
My bad. Yeah, that's my bad. My bad. Hey.
So, yeah, you recover 28 health. It is then the elves' turn, although only one of them stands at this point. And I would say that he's probably going to try and shoot Nemea. I'd say that he probably can see Nemea at this point, so we're going to roll to hit as normal. That's not bad. 25 total. And Nemea, you take... Ooh, maximum damage. 12 piercing damage as he fires a crossbow bolt into you. He then loads it on his bonus action, and he's going to jump down, which is probably going to cost him about 10 feet of movement rather than just 5. 15, 20, 25, 30. He's going to go up to here just to be annoying and get away from the group in general. Try and survive long enough to fire off a few more shots. It is then Astaros' turn, and Livia is next.
Big ouch.
Annoyingly, he's just... That's a solid wall, isn't it? I can't
Yes,
drop down.
and you don't... I guess you would have heard the sound of, like, poof, as somebody, like, landed. You could probably guess his placement. You would certainly know that there's something just landed south of you. So it's not bullshit for you to go in that direction if you wanted to.
It's a bit out of range, though, which sucks.
Is it? 5, 10, 15, 20, 25,
Yeah.
30. It's not out of range. Because you
It's
go
certainly out of
5,
range.
10, 15, 20... I've clicked on anything. 25, 30. You can move diagonally.
Oh, yeah. Oh. Okay, well, in that case...
You can't
yes,
move
let's do
diagonally
that.
through walls, but you can move diagonally generally.
Cool. So, regular, no magic, no Gaia, no vines, no divine, just a hammer.
Just a hammer. It's
Yeah.
worked
No
before.
guy.
It's hammer time.
Bring it on.
And we are going to roll to hit.
That'll
24.
hit.
Excellent.
He has some, like, outer, like, lashing that you can see from where Nemea's hit him. He suffers the 5 damage as you slam into him with the hammer. You have extra attack.
Yep. So let's go 22.
That'll hit.
Excellent. And 8.
8. Nice. He is just about still standing, but you are knocking this guy about. He's not looking great as a result of this. You see his short sword slip from his hand slightly as he manages to just grasp it and kind of look back up at you with it raised. Is that the end of your turn?
That is...
Livia, you're up.
Okay. I am going to go 10 feet to get to there. And then 20. Yeah, so I can just, if I use all my movement, I can get to here.
Okay.
And then I'm going to cast Channel Divinity. Oh, my last one.
Okay.
And I'm going to heal, I think it's 22 to Taran.
Okay. So Taran, you recover 22
And
HP.
The remaining 8 will go to Nemea, and that puts them both exactly on half, quite perfectly.
Cool. Nemea, you recover 8.
And then I will, as a bonus, will neck my own.
Potion.
You know it's not good, guys, when I'm drinking potions. Yeah.
Okay, so roll it out.
4d4 plus 4, because I have a greater.
As this happens, so, not great rolls, but 11 health nonetheless. A wave of kind of golden spiritual energy, like, puffs around Livia and then slams into the ground like dry ice spreading across the stage and spreads out amongst you all. Nemea and Taran, you feel infused by this life energy that you've begun to recognize as almost Livia's calling card at this point. This elven lady will turn and run at Taran. 5, 10, 15, 20, 25. Vice, you get an attack of opportunity.
Can it be any weapon? Can it be any weapon, or?
It would take you time to switch to a weapon that you don't currently have. So you're currently holding your clockwork saber. What do you mean? Can it be any weapon?
No, I just wanted to know if it's just a clockwork saber or is it anything else.
Well, do you have Warcaster as a feat?
Yes.
Then you can cast a single target, one action spell instead of a weapon attack.
Yes. I'm not going to though because every spell I've tried to do
has failed.
Has failed.
Okay.
So I'm just gonna go for it.
So roll to hit. That'll miss. So I've rolled both her attacks on you already, Taryn. They've both hit. The lowest was a 17, but I don't think you have anything.
Were they both with disadvantage?
They weren't both with disadvantage because of blur, which means the first one's a 17. And the second one is a 18.
Yep.
I don't know that she can miss you. What's your AC?
14.
14, so she'd have to roll a 3. No, a 2.
Yeah, I made the worst possible mistake of having shitty decks with a fucking Draconic Sorcerer.
So there's a 10% chance she can miss you. Which means she's hitting you 90% of the time if you look at it the other way. So you suffer 7 damage, followed by... Ooh, that's better. And that's better too. 15.
Fucking literally wasted
my turn.
She's... That was an odd sound. Sounded like something fell. But nothing seemed to have fallen. She's then going to go over here.
It wasn't a waste because it's basically negated her turn. It's a positive thing.
Can I get 2 con saves, please? Actually, a con save on the first one. It wouldn't have mattered. She didn't nat on the second one, so... But 2 con saves nonetheless.
No,
Blur goes on the first one.
What does Blur do?
Imposes disadvantage on attacks against Taryn. So Blur is gone, and it is then Taryn's turn. Oh, I just did it, so you put it back on.
Yeah.
Sorry.
I'm really confused. I was like, what the fuck?
It won't go away.
Well, I'm just in usual Ulrich style. Before one of his characters gets profusely beaten to death, I'm just going to let out a massive like war cry and just drive my shocking grasp as fucking far into her face as humanly possible.
Go for it. Roll to hit.
I swear to God, if I fucking miss this.
That one. As she raises a sword
21.
in front of her face. That'll hit.
Fry her alive.
Nice.
Nice.
16.
Good damage.
Nice, very
And
good.
she has no reactions.
Okay.
Oh, good. Run the fuck away.
Yeah.
16.
In a sort of like,
This.
as I go to zap her, I'm gonna sort of like brush past her up here. So 5, 10, 15, 20.
No.
Okay.
I'm just gonna go up to Livia and just be
Nemea's
like,
next.
I'm basically at my wit's end. I don't know if I can go on much more. And that's it.
Cool.
Heals, please.
Nemea, you are up. I don't think Livia has any
Right.
heals.
I warned
I
everyone
will.
before we went.
Go here, and
Yep.
I will cast my lovely Eldritch Blast on Mr. Middleman.
You still have Shillelagh
I
up
don't know.
on your staff, by the way.
Yes, I do, but I'm avoiding going in for the kill because we have no heals.
Ah.
So I'm desperately trying
Fair
to stay
enough.
back and be prone.
Very smart.
You will unfortunately
As much as I
miss
can.
with an
Learning.
Eldritch Blast. As you slam it, it kind of smacks into the corpse to the top right of Astros and like glides it against the floor slightly, but doesn't do any damage to the still standing elf.
Well, I'm going to move around here and go prone.
Mm-hmm.
And that's it.
This
Okay.
fight has fucked me so much, not even a short rest would help me.
Vice, you're up. And Astros, you're next.
I bloody don't see the point, mate. I'm freaking missing everything I try and do. Hey, mate, I'm so down. Okay, well, I'm going to chase her.
Yep. You can still hit her. You're still within 5 feet. The wall's not stopping that.
Smacker.
I want to smack her, please.
Music's died for me again.
Clockwork saber.
Sort of peek out from behind the wall and just bucket
Oh,
shit.
come on!
That
Come on!
will miss. You have your bardic inspiration.
I don't think that's gonna make a difference. I
up
generally
to
don't
you.
think it's a difference.
It's around like 18, I think, her AC.
It could get the hit.
It's up to
Yeah, but
you.
you'd have to roll perfectly.
Mm-hmm.
You want to do it, Vice, or you want to not? You've only got one bardic inspiration left
I
after
don't wanna do
this.
it. I don't want to do it.
You're not
I
going to
don't
do it.
wanna
Okay. Anything
I
else on
wanna
your
take
turn?
My defense.
Don't want to do it, man.
Vice?
Nope.
Nothing
Nope,
else?
nope,
Okay.
nope,
Then it
nope,
goes
I can't do
to
anything more.
the blue elf. Blue elf is going to deal with the threat
Oh,
right
wait a
in
minute.
front
Don't
of
I
him.
get extra attack? Don't I get extra attack?
Do you have extra attack?
Yes, I do. I
Then
do.
Oh.
yes.
Extra attack, right?
Yeah, because he's
Oh, I
a bard of valor, College of Valor bard.
Yeah. But I miss anyway, right?
A 14 will miss. Yes.
Fuck's sake.
This one's going to go for Asteros.
What is going on?
That is a 24.
Let me hit
Um,
this person, man.
This is where we TPK.
That's terrible. 5 damage, Asteros, as
5 damage.
this one slashes out in front of you. Pretty weak. It mostly grazes against your armor and right at the end clips a bit of your shoulder that wasn't properly covered. As he kind of like shunts your shoulder pad out the way with his fist as he's driving the blade up. He manages to gash you just slightly. It is then your turn.
Nice punch, bitch. I'm gonna swing my warhammer.
Go for it.
Ah.
That was very in character, by the way. Oh,
Unfortunately, that will miss. You do have extra attack.
extra attack. Hey, Jesus!
That will miss.
This is it. This is the end.
Anything else
That's
on your
how it
turn?
ends.
No.
Okay. Livia, you're up. Taryn, you're next.
I would like to Sacred Flame on Asteros's elf.
Okay. What's a hit?
Dex save.
Okay. 10.
Fail.
See, the meaning of Taryn, you're next.
14
means
radiant damage.
Taryn, you will be the
You're
first
next.
character to die.
14 is enough. This elf, from behind you, from behind him, Asteros, you just see the front of him, like, blood in his mouth, gritting his teeth as he begins to, like, go to cut you again, and this golden energy just flames up the back of him, and you see him sort of push forwards as he drops his blade to the ground and dies in front of you. Almost like falling onto you, you manage to backstep just slightly, and he lands on the ground. He is dead.
That was me, I did that.
And as you fall, you see a panting Livia behind, looking very tired.
Livia, did you see? Gaia's favor struck him down.
I'm gonna do the biggest rolled eyes, like, in my life.
Gonna use our whole turn to
You're
roll.
welcome!
I will use my action, my bonus, my reaction, everything for a single eye roll.
I am going to then stand in front of Taryn in a protective manner.
Fashion. Okay, it is then her turn. She gets her reactions back. And she's going to try and deal with the issue right in front of her, which is Vice.
Good idea.
So,
You are an issue.
23?
I am just an issue. I am just a nuisance. Chasing her around.
29. So both hit, and here we go.
Oh my god.
Just kill me, man. Just get me out of here.
11 damage.
Too far! Too far!
Don't tempt fate.
11 plus 11. 11 both times. Different dice rolls, but they all add up to 11 total. 22 damage, Vice.
Fend for yourselves, people!
And then she's going to move over here. 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30. And that's as far as she's going to go for now. These guys are off the turn order. Vice, you get an attack of opportunity.
Oh, God.
Fantastic.
Hit her!
It's good. I know. I've been trying to, Olivia, this whole time.
Yeah.
And you can use a one
Oh my
action
God,
single target
come
spell.
on.
That will fail.
Come
Taryn,
on.
you're up.
Can anyone roll above a 10?
Can anyone roll above a
Like,
4?
my gosh, like what is going on? This is not a finale, man. Not
It
the
is,
fight
it's just not one
anyway.
you
I mean,
win.
it's more epic.
Yeah. Cursed dice.
What's that mark on you, Nemea? What does that even mean? Are you prone again?
Yeah.
Ah,
Yep.
okay.
Yeah, I didn't know. I thought it was that one. I couldn't remember.
It is that one,
Yeah,
that's
it is
fine.
the right one.
You've done
Yeah,
the
I
right
did go.
thing.
I'm just gonna shout as I run because
What?
I don't really
What do you
know
mean
what
run?
I'm just gonna be like, I think she's reached the limit for her teleports, and I'm gonna go and I'm gonna zap her.
Can
Okay.
I try and grab it?
Yeah, you can. I would
Oh.
say make a acrobatics check versus Taryn. If she attempted to grab you, would you carry on trying to run anyway?
No, it's fine. Let him go.
Taran is more of a zippy person. He would sort of like shimmy.
Okay, so give me contested acrobatics or athletics checks. Your guys' choice.
I said I don't want to. Why
Are you sure you don't want to?
Yeah, I don't want to.
Okay, fine. Then Taran, you go.
I go to and then
Oh
stop
my God.
myself.
Nope.
That'll miss.
Bad choice.
Anything
I
else
say
on
to
your
Olivia,
turn?
let him go.
You do that non-tactically, no reaction spent.
I
Difficult
just
to
sort
see
of-
from your prone position behind that wall, but still.
I just sort of like slump a bit because I realise I've opened myself up and just sigh and prepare.
Nemea, you're up, and Vice, you're next.
Is there a point?
I unprone myself.
Okay, you have 15 feet of movement.
And I assume I have to kind of go like 1, then like
No,
2.
you can't. You can't go through that banister. So it would be 1. It would be 1,
1,
2.
2.
Yeah, but then you've still got 4 more. No, sorry, you've got 1 more.
One
Because
more.
you
that
used
one.
half your movement
Yeah,
to get it up. Yeah.
I know what you meant. Yeah. I'll do that, and then I will. Do I have a shot at her?
Yeah, you've got a shot,
here?
and that one is
Yeah.
probably going to hit Taran. I'm just letting you know that now, given that you're directly shooting through her. Shooting through him,
Well-
rather.
Woo! 24.
24 will hit.
I was like, I've just got to go. There you go. 15.
Nice, okay.
And that blast her into the wall. So fuck yeah.
Is that Eldritch Blast?
Yeah,
Yes.
cool. 15. So she takes the brunt of that damage. She kind of looks over at you angrily. She looks around at the battlefield in front of her with all of her various elf friends now dead at the hands of this group. Taran still seems to be a fair, easier target, given that he's bleeding from every orifice. Vice, it is your turn.
Push up.
Alright, cool. I'm gonna go. 5, 10, 15, 20, 25. Oh, that's
You can
still
reach
not
her.
enough.
You can easily reach
Wait,
her. 5,
Yeah.
10, 15, 20, 25, 30. No, you can't.
I can't.
No.
That's what I mean, yeah. 5,
Yeah, you're right.
10, 15, 20, 25, 30. Yeah.
Yeah. But you can fire your crossbow.
I could. I may as well just stay, yeah.
That's a fair shout, yeah. And then fire the crossbow.
Cool. Yeah, or just
or
go
spell.
for dissonant whispers.
Sure. Is it a save, yeah?
Please. It's a wisdom saving.
Assassin bitch.
What kind of save?
Wisdom.
Whiz.
That is an 8.
Oh my god! I finally hit her. Oh my lord.
I rolled a 6.
Oh mate, that bloody time. Anything is better than nothing right now. I don't want to feel useless.
8 damage, okay, cool.
It's a march.
Still damage? What do you whisper, by the way?
It's like, you gonna keep running from me, bitch?
She's like just done cutting up Taran, and she looks over at you like caught off guard by it a little bit, and you see her kind of like a bit of
What
a
are you
headache
doing?
sets in.
What are you
and
doing?
turns back to Taran.
Your whispers are getting rapier by the whisper.
Our love's inevitable. Astros, you're up. Livia, you're next.
Okay, so I'm gonna go. Oh. Bloop. Bloop. That's
Okay.
one too high. Bloop. Yep.
I don't know if you have anything ranged, but I'd say you could make a ranged shot, though she'll probably have some sort of cover as a result of the wall.
Fuck yeah. Let's throw the light hammer at her.
Okay.
Oh, so you have a mini hammer as well as a big one.
I have a tiny hammer which I use to open letters with and occasionally throw it with.
I feel like...
10.
Well, that misses anyway, but she definitely had at least half cover, I would say. I was just contemplating whether or not I'd give her 3/4, but I think that's probably half cover. Which ups her AC by, I think, 3? Is it 2 and 5 or 3 and 5? I think it's 2 and 5.
2 and 5.
Yeah. So yeah, you'll miss. You don't... How many light hammers do you have, by the way?
Just the one.
Just the one. So that light hammer is now on the ground over here.
I better get that back.
Well, it's on the floor for you to pick up, but it will probably cost you a bonus action to pick it up. Is that the end of your turn?
So,
So you lob this hammer and it sort of just smacks into the wall near her, lands on the ground behind her. Livia, you're up.
I am gonna go here.
Okay. Okay.
Can I go in this space here? Like slightly to the left? But-
Yeah. We're gonna just do this though.
Yeah, that's what I meant.
Yeah, that's fine.
And then deck save.
Okay. 15. I assume that fails. I don't know.
13!
Okay.
Come on, radiant damage.
keep
No,
this.
yeah, it's 16. It's my best. That's
What is it you did?
Sacred flame.
Okay, cool. So like the
Beam of
burning
radiant
energy
from the sky.
flies up the front of her. It is then her turn. If you're not done. If you are done, rather.
I'm done.
One for Taryn. Ooh, 29. Taryn, you
I
suffer
am fucked.
1 damage.
11 damage. Sorry, 12 damage. And then she's going to hit you, Livia, I think. 25.
Damage?
No, 25 to hit.
Oh.
10 damage.
So I just get fucked, and I just spurt blood as I fall backwards.
That's her extra attack. I feel like, given that she still has a bonus action, she doesn't necessarily want to move. She picks up Asteros's hammer.
You bitch. You just made it 10 times more personal.
Hey. Spent
So she
ages on
reaches
that.
down onto the
Yeah.
ground, picks up Asteros's hammer. It's not on the floor anymore. And then she's going to go here. And it is Taryn's turn. Make a death save.
Failed.
Oh, so one fail. Nemea, you're up.
Right. Then I will move up a little bit more.
Taryn's gonna die.
No.
It was written.
I'm cursed to just kill all of my characters.
Oh.
Like one arc after the
19.
next.
19 will hit.
But I feel like this one was valiant.
16 damage.
Nice, damn.
Do double
Go
that.
on. She's got to be hanging on by a thread at this point, surely.
I would say she's not looking great, but she's certainly still standing. Is that the end of your turn, Nemea?
I'm gonna yell, surround her!
Vice, you are up.
Vice is up, yeah?
Mhm.
Alright, I'm fucking going in.
Smack her!
I'm gonna attack her. So, 15.
We'll miss.
And
Extra
extra
attack?
attack with Bardic Inspiration. I've had enough of this.
Give me the Bardic Inspiration roll.
Ooh. You know what? No.
No, you want to see if that hits?
No.
You know what? Fuck you!
No, it's not hit.
Okay, Mr. Vegas Casino Man. Taking the gamble. 18 does hit.
Yay.
Fuck mine. Right. Damn.
Now you need to roll 50 damage. Just no pressure.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Don't you worry.
360 no scope, please.
It like spins around in the air, stabs her in the eye. 15. It's good
Very
damage.
fucking good.
Yeah, she's still up, but you managed to slash
Hang on,
down.
Hang on. Wait,
What?
that doesn't make sense. Oh yeah,
Why
it
not?
does make. Never mind.
Okay.
Don't worry, Max can't count, but it's fine.
Because I can't count.
Anything
right
else on your turn, Vice?
now.
Does anything else need to be done?
Doesn't inspiration work on death saves?
Yes, he's not. He doesn't have inspiration though. Are you saying you want to
Can I
give it
not
to him?
Can I not give him?
You can. You still have one inspiration and a bonus action. To be your last one.
I'll hold off.
Harsh times in Viceland. Asteros, you're up. Asteros, you are up.
Oh god.
A choice was made this day.
He looks down
It's
and just
okay.
reminds me of two other wood elves that I fucking hated.
I'm doing this for your own good, Darren. Your own good.
Just
So,
like bleeding out. It's for your own good. Shh, don't worry.
It's okay.
So Sentinel's back in effect now.
Yes.
And obviously that applies to attacks made on my allies within 5 feet as well.
So if she attacks an ally within 5 feet of you,
It still provokes an attack of opportunity for moi.
Yes.
Yeah. So potentially you could have 2.
Yes. Well, no, you've only got
yeah.
1 reaction, but...
Sorry, yeah. And I've also got Aura of Protection, which applies to allies within 10 feet.
What's that
However,
do?
that's only for saving throws, which I think might be out of slots. Point.
Yeah, aren't you out of spell slots?
No, this is a passive.
Oh, okay, cool.
Yeah. So it's +3 to all saving throws if you have to make them.
Creature gains a bonus to saving throw equal to your charisma mod, which is +3. Yeah, so that will count for Terran's death saves.
Oh, fantastic.
It's a saving throw.
Yes.
Yep.
Good timing.
Literally
Totally intentional.
saving.
So what's
Right,
happening with my death saves?
17 will miss, I'm afraid.
Not if I do it twice. Oh.
12 will miss, I'm afraid.
Give me back my hammer, you bitch!
She just has it, like, hanging from her waist. She's not even using it. She's got 2, like, short swords. She just has that.
I made it. I get to have it.
So what's happening with my death saves?
You get a +3 on whatever you were rolling previously. Which I think was just a d20.
Spicy.
Astros, that's your whole turn, yeah? Livia, you are up. So as you swing wildly, she bats one away, brings the sword down, manages to catch it under the hammer slightly and push it up. And then Livia, you're up.
I am going to turn to Taran and I am going to cast Spare the Dying.
Okay. You
Which
stabilize
means I touch a
Taran.
living creature and he is stabilized.
Yep. So let's give him this heart lightning symbol, I guess. Oh,
Am I
it's
still unconscious?
Broken heart.
You're still unconscious.
Yeah, you're still unconscious, but you don't have to make death saves
There's
anymore.
no... Oh, we'll go with this. That's a full heart. There we go.
That's better. Protected, I like that.
That's an action.
Like, there's no way I can get in front of him, like,
No,
to protect him.
Not in this
from
position,
her.
no.
Can't really drag him either.
You could attempt to drag him.
Can I attempt to drag him back?
Yeah, sure. Roll strength. Yeah, give me a strength save, yeah. Or actually, your choice, strength save or athletics. Okay.
16.
Yeah, I'll say you can successfully grab Taran, drag him away. You will suffer an attack of opportunity, but he won't, and you can move at half speed.
Okay, so I can move him half my movement, right?
That's correct, yes.
Okay.
So you can get him 15 feet away. You'll suffer an attack of opportunity, but he won't.
So I will drag him to here, and then I will stay in front.
Okay, cool. She'll try and hit you with her reaction. Ooh, that's not good. That's a 16, which will, I believe, miss. Yes.
Yes!
All right. I'm glad you were that into it. It's good. Is that the end of your
Well,
turn,
I
Livia?
have 25 health. She could take me out, so...
Is that the end of your turn, Livia?
Yeah, it's the end of my turn.
Cool. She's going to move over here. Vice, you get an attack of opportunity. She moves around the group.
Okay, cool. Do I?
You can distant whispers if you want. It's a one action and it's single target, I believe.
No, I want to.
Do I get an attack of opportunity for her moving?
No, only if she leaves your range.
Oh.
Okay, I want to use.
She moved around you, but not Vice.
I want to cast
Do you have any spell slots left?
Bestow Curse, as I'm a Warcaster.
Do you have any spell slots left? Bestow Curse is like 3rd level, isn't it?
Yeah, I have. I had one left.
Yeah, he's
Okay.
not used any third levels up until now. Well, one.
He used
Curse.
Bestow
I
Curse
used
earlier.
one Bestow Curse before,
Yeah.
and that was it. And
And you didn't use any 3rd levels in the previous fight because you haven't long
I
rested.
did. I've got three.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, and
is
that's
it-
the last one.
What is it? Some sort of save or roll to hit?
It is a no. It is
Whiz
a
save.
wisdom.
Okay, here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to get my phone ready. Oh no, that's not how you post in WhatsApp. It's upside down. That's an 8.
Oh,
Complete fail.
okay, solid. Would you allow a Would you allow a disadvantage on all attack rolls?
What do you mean, would I allow it? Is it not part
Would you
of the
allow
spell?
it? Because no, it is, but usually for just me.
Touch a creature is receiving a wisdom saving throw over the club's curse. When you cast a spell, choose the nature of the curse from the following theme. Choose one ability score. While cursed, the target has disadvantage on ability checks and saving throws may be that ability score. That's not what you're picking. While cursed, the target has disadvantage on attack rolls against you. While cursed, the target may make a wisdom saving throw at the start of each turn if it fails. Roll Arcana.
Okay.
Nat 20, my boy. Nat 20. Come on.
Wait, that's not what I'm gonna get.
I pray for
We've
it.
done enough nat ones. Come on.
You don't have a plus to Arcana?
Oh,
Do you have a plus to Arcana? Nothing?
no.
Okay, here's what I'm going to do. Disadvantage. So firstly, she's cursed. And we'll use this. For this round, she has disadvantage against everyone.
Yes.
Next round, the spell acts as normal.
So just
Nice.
against me.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. You are a all loving,
Almighty powerful God.
all
absolutely
almighty
So,
powerful.
having moved
Like
around you,
someone's looking down on
Asteros,
me.
she aims her crossbow at Nemea. She has disadvantage to hit.
I'm just gonna run around.
I rolled a
scared
16 both times, so that's a 27.
Hellish rebuke, bitch.
You need to be within range, don't you?
Oh.
What?
Hellish Rebuke
You
has a
don't have to
range.
be
I
within
believe.
touch range.
I thought Hellish Rebuke had some sort of range to it. Oh no, it's 60 feet.
Oh yes.
Oh.
Which
I
means
thought it
it's
was
120.
That's good.
Yeah.
Yeah, because she's a spell sniper. Asteros, before the Hellish Rebuke happens,
Yep.
it looks as though she's about to essentially take Nemea out with this shot. You see her reach into a pouch and pull out a bolt that seems to be pulsing with some sort of energy. Roll Arcana for me.
That's not good. I can't confirm.
12.
Okay. You have a limited knowledge of spell magic or general magic because there's only certain spell levels that you are even able to garner at your highest level of knowledge, and you're not there yet. You see her pull this bolt out of a side pouch and load it into her crossbow. She aims it at you at first and then sees a weaker target in the distance and goes to fire it at Nemea. She has definitely hit. It looks like whatever this bolt does, it's going to take someone down. Given your current position, you have the opportunity to get in the way.
Oh,
Do you
shit.
let the bolt fly past you, or do you get in the way of it?
What?
Decisions.
Wow.
Lol.
First of all, before that, do I get to use Sentinel for this? Because she's attacking an ally and she's in within 5 feet.
Yeah, you've still got a reaction.
Can I hit her first and then make this decision afterwards?
Yes, you can.
Okay. And if possible, can I specify this as a non-lethal strike? As
Yeah,
in,
perfectly fine.
Yep. Go to KO rather than kill.
Uh-huh.
Yep.
That's a
15.
miss.
Damn.
So as she raises it, you bring the hammer down, and there's like a sly grin as she sidesteps the hammer, and that's when she recognizes Nemea looking weak in the background, and that's when she sort of turns the crossbow and is about to fire past your head, essentially. You're taller than Nemea, so you reckon you could sort of like half jump up and take this to the shoulder or something like that, or like the bulk of your arm / shoulder without taking it to the face. But at any rate, it looks like she's about to fire this. I've also picked a terrible
Okay.
time to really need to pee. So if you want to like just think about it for a moment, BRB.
Tension P. The world goes
I was going to say, that was
thinking.
building up.
Tension.
That was
Is-
building
is
up to a
bloody
big moment. It's like,
thing
also, I
like
have
that.
to piss. Jesus. Decisions.
And it's all on you because
Do
none
not-
of us can
yeah.
influence you in any way.
Yeah. Vice, you could probably see it, though. You're, like, right next to me.
I could.
This is a split-second decision, so
Yeah.
even if you can see it.
Drama.
You know, I don't
And I'm
like
just
tiefling.
unconscious, so do I really like?
Do
you
I
know,
like
do I
tief-
have to?
It wouldn't be very
He's already
character.
fucked up. Would it matter that much?
You
Well,
did
you're a
say...
god. You're a god.
Yeah, you called me old man earlier.
You die.
I think I'd forget that. I mean, it's factually accurate, but still, said it in a mean way.
Oh. Almost sat on the armrest. What are we doing?
Yeah, so after much deliberation with the team and listening to everyone's input,
I'm not with the
decided
team at all.
that I really, really don't like tieflings, but I also don't like not having a legend for myself either. So I'm going to take the hit.
Okay. So, as
That's
the
growth, people.
as the crossbow fires, the string whips forwards, and this almost pulsating, strangely glowing bolt, it has like a greenish energy to it, slams you in the shoulder as you just quickly rise up, Astaros. You're bringing your shield up with you, but it hits you in the shoulder, clinks between your armor just before you can get the shield up. For all intents and purposes, Astaros, you are still and on the ground, unmoving. About here.
Oh my god, Aster.
As you take that shot to the shoulder, you are out of the fight. She is then going to go... she's already moved 10. She's going to disappear and reappear here. Everyone, you may want to scroll to the top of this map.
But I cast Hellish Rebuke.
You didn't get hit, so you can't cast Hellish Rebuke.
Oh.
Yeah, you got to be damaged.
So, she appears
man,
behind
no.
Vice. That was one attack. She can then attack again. Unless she uses her thing to reload her crossbow, which she doesn't. What are all the things on her? I forget what they are. She's got Bestow Curse.
She's got disadvantage. She got
Yes,
disadvantage.
and this is still that turn, so it's still against everyone. So disadvantage to hit Vice. That is a 17 and a 4, but the 4 goes up to a 15. That'll miss. So, after her turn... Let me just go back to the session plan 1 sec.
Oh.
The doors... Go on, sorry.
I was gonna say, is she gonna hit me? Sorry.
No, she missed.
Oh, she missed. Oh, she missed.
Yeah. These doors north of this elf woman burst open. And all of you see the actual throne room north of this room.
Ha! Called it!
In that room stands Zachariah Anderblath, you all know to be the King of Stalvin. One of his sons, Gabriel Anderblath, and a number of Kingsguard, supported by Aresia, who runs in at this assailant. She turns and fires her crossbow again into the throne room, and as she does, Aresia leaps forwards and slams her blade into her chest, stabbing her through. You see the blade spurt out the other side with blood coming out the other side, Vice, you this close to it. And as she dies, north of this location, you hear someone shout, "Protect the king!" And there's a fumble as something hits the ground. I'm going to leave you on the map you're on. Bear with me.
The music could not have ended at the right.
That was epic.
As this second shot is fired, and you're all in this room, Aresia pulling her blade out as this elven woman falls to the ground behind you, you all look over to the throne room and see the person that everybody is crowding around is the king, with a bolt coming out of his neck and blood pouring out onto the floor behind him. The fight ends.
Can we do anything?
What would you potentially try to do?
I mean, I have a great healing potion.
I
don't know.
Sure.
I have fed the dying. I don't know if that'll work.
Okay.
Can I try? Can I run a try?
Can I try?
I have a common potion.
You can both try. So, Livia, you run up to the king, and immediately a few of the Kingsguard draw blades, turn your way, and grab you as they recognize the fact that you're wearing kind of Stalvan colors or Rella colors. They think for a moment and recognize you somewhat. You mention to them that you're trying to help, and they let you step aside. You can see the blood pouring from beneath the king as he lays lifeless on the ground. The bolt still stuck in his throat, and it seems that the only person standing over him, kneeling next to his possible corpse at this point, seems to be Gabriel Anderblath, his son. You lean down and cast the spell. spare the dying. Yeah?
Yeah.
The golden energy kind of pushes on through his body, the body of Zachariah. Roll Arcana for me.
Arcana is not my thing, man. Medicine.
I'll let it be medicine if you want it to be medicine.
Oh, thank God. Thank you. That's much better.
So you're uncertain as to whether or not you've stabilized anything, but you can still see blood coming, like it's still a pool of blood emanating on the ground. Nemea,
force feed him a potion?
no,
Sorry,
because
carry
you've
on.
spent your time casting this spell. Nemea, you've
Yeah.
run over as well, past Oresia, who's kind of has like this confused look on her face, seeing Vice standing before her and Asteros just still on the ground in front of her. Yeah. Nemea runs on through, and Nemea, you pull the cork on a healing potion. You pour that down into the mouth of Zachariah Anderbleth, the King of Starvan, and you wait a moment, expecting some sort of miraculous recovery. The pool of blood slows, and it doesn't seem to have any effect. Livia, you're all basically free to move about the room at this point, the room that you are in. The throne room is north of this. If you want to move into that room, let me know. But combat is over. Asteros is dead to the world, as far as you all can tell.
Am I even remotely
As I
conscious?
slowly step back.
Taryn,
and
you're unconscious, but stable. So no.
Because you're saying you all can do this, and I'm just like, no, I can't.
Not so much.
will come back. I will check on Asteros.
Mm-hmm.
Is he alive?
Roll Arcana or Medicine, your choice.
Now I'm traumatized, so my rolls are going to be terrible.
Is it the 14 that you just rolled?
Yeah.
Okay. You can tell that he is alive. He seems to be paralyzed in some sort of fashion.
That sounds about right.
Asteros, you're also at essentially 1 HP.
Okay.
It takes a while, Livia, but eventually you feel a beat from his heart as you hold your thumb over his wrist trying to get a pulse, and it's not it's not regular enough to make you think that his heart is beating normally. And as you kind of lean over him trying to determine exactly what's afflicting him, you do hear after a while a breath, as it seems, however he's being kept in this state, basically at death's door. He's not dead. He is paralyzed.
Okay. I'm gonna. I should move my character really. I'm gonna pass Vice a common healing potion, and that I didn't use on the king, and tell him to go wake up Taryn. And then I'm going to. I'm really running low. All I have is like milkweed seeds. Oh, I have something that treats poison. I don't know if that would help.
What is it?
Hyacinth nectar.
I don't think that it necessarily treats poison in its like
It's like a component rather than
yeah. It's like unalchemy processed state. I'd have to open the thingy, and I'm not going to. So I'll tell you what. Roll herbalism for me, which I guess is a D20 plus proficiency.
Yeah. 19.
Nice. So you see where the bolt is sticking into Asteros's body. Much like some of the blows he took earlier, it's kind of in a piece of armor between two plates of armor, but this one's actually just through the shoulder plate. It's not that it's managed to find its way in between, it just shot straight through. You pull the bolt out, and you apply like you sort of mortar and pestle, and then apply a bit of a salve to the area, and you can see his fists are like clenched like this, and as you apply it, his fingers kind of soften slightly, but he still seems paralyzed, still seems incredibly low health.
Can I run over and cast precipitation, around him to try and clean the wound? And,
yeah, sure. You clean up some of the the dirt and blood. You whisper this thanks to him. You're unsure as to whether or not he can hear it. The wound seems clean, but it's difficult to see exactly how much damage has been dealt through the kind of muck of the gelatinous leaves that have created this kind of seal over the wound from the hyacinth nectar.
as I wake up, I just sort of look up and I'm like, Vice, oh, did we win?
Yeah, but we won.
Oh, good.
Yeah, but.
Yeah, bud.
Yeah,
You
but
did good, bud. You did good.
you did good. Yeah, did good.
Is there anything else you guys want to do in this situation?
I want to thank Oresia.
I would just sort of get my bearings, look over towards.
Lucy, you might want to mute up whilst Oryx's talking, or push to talk or something, because we can't hear you. Say that again, Taryn?
I would sort of be getting my bearings, looking over towards the throne room and such, just understanding the situation as I'm waking up.
I'm gonna sit defeated and upset, and leaning against the wall while still keeping a close eye on Astros.
Okay, Vice, you doing anything?
Can I go check on? Can I see what the king's condition is? I know
Yeah,
you've
dead.
Is he actually dead?
He's dead. Like, the King's Guard slowly let you pass, like they have the others, assuming you're going in close to help in some fashion, and like blood on the ground, a hole in his neck, the bolt is still in his throat. He seems very dead.
Okay. Okay.
Oh no.
Um.
Oh no.
You don't have enough diamonds, is what Livia's thinking.
I don't have any diamonds. But then I was like, oh my god, I'm in a palace. I could probably get diamonds. But then I'm like,
But it only gives you a minute, and you have no
slots.
slots. Yeah.
I want to.
Hey, things could have gone very differently if you had a spell slot.
Fuck off.
To.
You knew I didn't have a spell slot coming in here, so that's on you.
I mean, I definitely forgot that, but yeah, what are you doing, Vice?
Can I
Give Livia diamonds.
pull out Dawnstone?
Yes, you can.
And cast a wish.
Dude!
Hello, shit I wasn't prepared for.
Wow!
So,
My
fucking big
My
brain
guy.
plays from Vice. Fucking
What
hell.
happened?
Honestly, I just had a hot flush.
You bring it will cause the Dawnstone to disappear and to teleport into a random location that I'm
This will
not
be
aware of.
surely one of my first interactions with that as Taryn, right?
You've never seen this before,
Yeah,
I don't
you've
think,
never seen
Taryn.
it.
I'm not sure Asteros has seen it.
No.
Or Oresia.
Not that he's
No.
particularly able to move in this scenario, but
I think Oresia is the only one that saw it out of the new group.
okay.
This is what Fina would have wanted. I tried to save her with a potion too. This is perfect.
I like how
We thought this hard.
Sevi's camera has conveniently like blinked out into the background as she took her jumper off and then blinked back in as she's back in. Like, well done, Skype, on your modesty green screen, apparently. Go on, Vice. So what do you do exactly?
I want to.
This is what
I just want to slowly walk up to where the king has died without really much to anyone, and not speaking. And as I'm
One of the
walking-
King's Guard puts a hand on your shoulder, and seeing your face and seeing Oresia in the background is kind of unsure as to who you are as well. But like, given that Nemea, who's very noticeable amongst the predominant humans of Starvan, and Livia, that everyone has kind of come to know as a denizen of Starvan as well, given that they were given or offered passage, you are obviously about to be offered passage when Oresia turns around and just says to everyone, like, he's with me. And you move on past, the King's Guard steps aside, you lean over the king. At this point, the only person standing over him is his son, Gabriel Anderblath, the captain of the King's Guard. And you reach into around your neck, underneath your armor, underneath your clothing, and you pull out the Dawnstone that you put onto a strap, I believe, at some point.
Yeah. And I'm during this time, I'm just not saying any words. I just want to pull it out to see if there's any type of reaction from it.
So as you touch the Dawnstone and hold it out, sort of for everyone to see, there's a mixed look of mostly confusion and some assumptions. It seems like your average person there, and there's only maybe 6 or 7 people in the room total outside of the party. Nobody knows what that is. The assumption is that you are attempting to heal him like your fellow comrades. But, you know, it's not abnormal to have a stone that would potentially bestow some sort of healing in some fashion. But nobody recognizes this green teardrop-style gem that houses the symbol of Arella, that honestly nobody can really see that symbol at this distance because you sort of have to focus on it. You can feel the haphazard energies of the Dawnstone emanating from it as you hold it near the king. They're chaotic, and you're uncertain of the nature of them, like the origins, what this would possibly do. But through your previous adventures, you're aware that you're correct in the belief that this stone offers you a wish.
Yeah. So, I mean, as I take it out, I'm like, I don't know if this is going to work, but, it's definitely worth a try. And I've not had, I don't think any other time right now is more suited for this, to be honest. So, I want to just, I wish that the king will return to life and all of his wounds are returned to normal.
Okay.
Yeah.
You say this. You
good.
lay the stone down on the king.
Betrayal.
You get it out in front of the king. You're like, I really wish that I had a new set of pots and pans. Like, I've had these ones for so long. It's really inconvenient. They're all grime and crust. Okay, so you lay it down on the king. And sort of almost teary-eyed, leaning over him, you can see his son, his eldest son, likely next in line, also kind of misty-eyed. He looks at you and hears you make this vow. And he reaches out a hand and places it on your shoulder and just looks at you in the face and just says, "Thank you." And then the stone disappears. And Gabriel looks down at the stone and just sees that it's gone. And he looks back at you and just goes, "What magics is this?"
Something given to me by someone I loved a long time ago. And I never thought I'd ever get to use it. I wish I could have used it on her, but this is probably the next best thing that she would have wanted. And then
he looks up at you as you're sort of saying this and just goes, "I hope that whatever power you have, it's powerful enough to bring some change this day." And from that point, we will essentially fade to black as we snap to... you guys are escorted out. The king does not return to life from what you see. The King's Guard pull you aside, almost hurriedly, not overly forcefully because of the nature of how you have interacted with them and seemingly tried to offer a fair amount of help, as well as the fact that you've assisted in this attempt on the king's life, whether successful or not. Currently, you guys don't know. Arestia stays behind. She seems to be involved in some sort of conversation with Gabriel as you all are escorted away. The war is still in full flow outside of the palace. And as you exit the palace, the King's Guard thank you and essentially say, if you want to join the fight, now's the time, and they retreat back to the palace. As you guys reach the majority of the fighting, the sounds of explosions, fire, screams, battle cries, metal on metal, the whoosh of arrows being fired and bolts being fired from crossbows.
Crossbows?
From crossbows. You eventually reach the forefront of the battle that had burst its way forth through a large break in the wall. I forget which portion of the capital it was. And you see that it seems like, whilst the rest of the elves' forces were closed in, that they eventually attempt to retreat as they reach a lesser number versus Stalvin's forces. However, as a result of being boxed in, they take incredibly heavy losses, and you suspect that anyone that once sided with the outsider amongst the elves of Silver Tomb is almost entirely taken out at this point. Eventually, you hear an order fly down the line past you guys, down into the captains, majors, sergeants of those still fighting in the forefront of this. You're sort of firing the occasional shot from the back, trying to get in close to take out any elves that break their way through into the city. And some of you take down the occasional person, but from the back, not many more are getting through. And it seems that the path that you tore to reach this point is now clear of any kind of threat. Eventually, this order that passes down is given, and that order is to let them flee. And like a swathe of the Starvan forces retreat away from the elves, creating a bit of a pathway out of this boxed-in situation. And they kind of create like a corridor for the elves to flee. As they do, plenty of them are taken down. You can see this horde of elves, the remaining forces, begin to move back north, eventually towards the Wandering Wood, but many of their number are shot down by arrows from Starvan forces that have not had their fill. Some of them get too close to the sides as they begin to run and are cut down by Starvan forces on the side who had orders to let them run. And it seems that the venom amidst the Starvan forces for the elves attacking their home capital leads to such a place where very few elves make it out. They're no longer in the hundreds, they're in the tens by the time they flee in their entirety. Some time passes and the Starvan forces move into a position to essentially defend the capital from anything else. You hear the occasional cry, the occasional kind of sick sound of a blade penetrating flesh as elves that have been caught within the capital are killed, left alone from the other forces that they had among them once upon a time. As the war eventually settles between the humans and the elves, Starvan is in complete disarray. Large portions of the capital have been destroyed, and it takes some time, several weeks, where any able-bodied citizen has essentially been recruited to assist in the rebuild and subsequent defense of the capital. All excursions beyond Starvan of any forces of any kind have been cancelled, postponed, and generally recalled, so that the capital can be reinforced until it is at full power. The power that it once held before the elves' deception, before the outlawing of magic amidst Starvan, and essentially the start of this entire arc. For you guys, we are a week into the future. I'm going to just change the calendar here so that I have it. A week in this world is 6 days, so it is Rora 18. The year is 435, and it's relatively early in the day. I'm going to set it at about 10 a.m. I'm going to put that in Roll20. Yep, that's right. So, a week has passed since the events in the throne room, and although you guys have mostly spent this week helping with the rebuild effort, you are free to do anything that you would like to do within Starvan over this week. The Temple of Arella that you've all been visiting / staying in has been housing as many citizens as it can possibly home. Of those that lost their homes in the Battle of Starvan, as that this fight would become to known by. And you're aware that there is something happening at the palace approximately a week from now. I'm going to find some music. We'll go by the initiative that we already have. Is there anything that you guys want to do over this week outside of the time you spend rebuilding Starvan and defending it? Taran is first, Nemea is next.
Okay.
I don't even know what the fuck I do. It's sort of been a while since we've had any, like, freedom in any way.
I mean, I'm sure Josh doesn't mind if you want to...
I mean, if you want to skip or if you want to go last, I don't mind. I'll switch you over.
Yeah,
it doesn't bother
come
me.
back round to me at some point.
Okay. I don't know if this is playing.
I know what I want to do.
Cool. Nemea, what do you want to do? Vice, you're next.
I don't know what Livia's doing, but I want to go to the Temple of Arella, and because I assume there'd be as many like civilians there with their homes destroyed, and just like help out, feed people, and like just generally try and help around the temple. Yeah, so imagine me and Livia have probably gone there, but she can explain what she wants to do.
Okay. Roll medicine for me, Nemea.
+1.
Okay. You help as many people as you can. Your magics are not inherently healing based, but you have some know-how. Livia guides you occasionally in some instances, and under Zuko and Livia's mother's name that I'm forgetting, Livia?
Thea.
Thea, yes, thank you. Under Zuko and Thea's tutelage, you're able to offer quite a lot of help. They guide you in the best way to be useful in this space. Vice, what do you want to do? Astros, you're next.
Am I not still paralyzed?
I'll get to that. Olivia?
What do you want to do? Also, you're frozen on the floor of the palace.
You can
Do you
move
want to
your
look
arm
left
or
do
your
you want
leg.
to look right?
What do you say,
They just
Olivia?
walked
What are you
past and
saying?
they were like, "Fuck it."
Just before Vice goes, I just want to ask him and just say, like, hey, Vice, if at some point you wanted to hold a small service for Fina, then that's something we could do.
It definitely happened in
wanted
the
to
past.
extend that offer to you. It didn't actually, not properly, because we were rushed into the army and then Vice went on his own to go talk to Fina. Me and him had a conversation while we were out in the army about actually doing something. So I just want to remind him of the offer and say that it's something we could lay on if he wanted to.
Yeah.
Okay.
Then it's your turn. You can go.
Yeah. I'd like that. Thanks, Livia.
So, just for Asteros's information, before we get to what Vice does, you're taken by the rest of the party, Asteros. They manage to kind of lift you, put your arms over two of their shoulders and like walk you out, essentially. The magics cast upon you are strong enough. No, that's fine, Nemea. You can do that if you want to do that. The magics cast upon you are strong enough that as they're sort of dragging you, eventually you start moving your feet a little bit. And it's only a few hours by the time you are fully able to maneuver as you once did.
Hey.
Mobile.
And that happens right at the start of the week. So before we come to
I had
Asteros...
this image. Oh my lord! I had this image of us like,
Weekend at
tying his
Bernie's.
legs around our legs and just kind of walking him out.
So what are you doing in your
statue.
downtime, Vice?
I'd like to, if there was a shop that I could buy some stuff.
Yeah, what do you want to buy? What kind of shop are you trying to go to?
I want to find some sort of kind of like, maybe an enchanting shop. I would imagine maybe somewhere that's got, like materials.
Anywhere that there's a post-war sale, perhaps. All our stock is destroyed by now.
Sorry, you want to try and find what kind of shop?
Like some sort of like an alchemy store, maybe.
Okay.
I'm looking for basically like powders and materials.
Let's see what we've
and
got
stuff like
here. There's an alchemist somewhere. What have I written? There's an enchanter shop that you guys ran past in the royal quarter. Jeweler's brothel, guard tavern, merchant shop, leatherworker. What's this? I think that's a pub of some description. I thought there was an alchemist. Was there not? Oh no, that was an enchanter. There wasn't specifically an alchemist, but there was somebody that sold like that sort of thing. I thought it was a woman. I might be thinking of Aegis.
I thought that maybe as well.
Enchant in Herald. I'm not seeing it. I don't remember what we did of previous sessions. You've got 3 inns, a smithy, another smithy, a Fletcher, an enchanter, Obstrix, though that shop was destroyed. A restaurant, a jeweler. It was the jeweler that Nemea went to. So if you're looking for potions, there are merchant carts as well as a merchant shop, like a specific shop for general merchant goods. So it sounds like maybe that one might be the one to go to, the Weary Wagon.
I could do, but I doubt they'll have what I want. Can I just message you separately so it's not part of story or anything like that? Like, I'm asking about this.
What is it you want? Just go for it. It's fine.
I want incense and I want diamond powder. I doubt he's gonna have that.
So incense, easy to come by. Diamonds, you would need to go to the jewelers, which is the place that Nemea went to before, which I've immediately lost. Merchant shop garter. Jewelers, the Sun on the Sea. So you would remember, or Nemea would remember, Olivia would remember that there is a jeweler's. You can't get dust. You can get diamonds.
I can get diamonds, but
you are
Nemea,
heavily
you...
cutting in and out. Nemea does have the capacity to turn gems into dust.
Okay. That's
so
fine.
you could go and get diamonds, and Nemea could turn them into dust
Can I
afterwards.
just go get that material then?
Yeah. How much? Yeah. How many diamonds are you buying?
How much are they?
Just
How much are diamonds?
How much are they? They have diamonds of different sizes at different costs. So you could buy like a certain amount of diamonds, but your average diamond would be on this list somewhere. So like a full proper cut diamond would be 5,000 gold. But if you're looking for a lesser amount of diamond, you could get like small, poorly cut offcuts, you know, chips.
Yeah, that's fine. I mean, the quality doesn't matter.
It depends what you want to use it for. So how much gold's worth of diamonds are you looking to purchase?
200.
200. Okay, so without much hassle, Merrimin Mormill, the halfling woman of the Sun on the Sea, sells you 200 gold's worth of small, poorly cut diamonds. She's almost apologetic in the transaction. She's like, you know, I'm sorry, they're not much better. These are the best I have. Diamonds are hard to come by, and I take what I can get in trade.
No, it's okay. Do you, by any chance, while I'm here, do you have any kind of green gems of any kind?
I have all sorts of gems. I could sell you jade. I could sell you... what else is green?
Emerald.
Yeah, emerald's more expensive though, I think. Yeah, it is. Is
okay.
Jasper green?
No.
Moss agate?
Moss. That's the one I was thinking.
That's green.
Of. Yeah. That's
so yeah, she has all of those.
Okay. Prices.
Moss agate is 10 gold per properly cut piece. Jade is 100 gold for a proper gem.
Okay.
Rather than just like a small offcut.
Okay. We grab the is it the moss?
Moss agate, yeah. It's spelt like this. She has loads, and it's 10 gold a piece. So feel free to knock the gold off and take as many of those as you want. Just let me know.
I'll keep. I'll buy 2, please. Okay.
And you've got 200 gold's worth of poorly cut, small offcuts of diamond.
Cool. Cool.
Okay. So that's Vice. Asteros, what are you doing?
Good question.
You don't have to do anything. It's up to you guys.
I suppose going back to the palace to get my tiny hammer back is out of the question.
I feel
like a paralyzed hand would just be going to grab it as he gets pulled
I feel
out.
like maybe a couple days later, a soldier would have like passed you and been like, it's Sergeant, isn't it? They would have been like, Sergeant, we recovered this from the battle at the palace, and just sort of lean out and go to pass you a smallish hammer.
Excellent. Thank you. So I have a few questions. Like, do I actually know what happened? Because I was taken out before the battle ended. I didn't see the king. I didn't see Erezia.
I'd say you saw everything, and the fact that the king is potentially dead is like on the lips of everyone throughout Stalvin, regardless of the fact that they're spending a lot of their time rebuilding Stalvin. It's well known that the king is possibly dead, that he has some sort of recovery going on, and there has been a lot of assumption as to whether or not he's even still alive at this point.
When I was paralyzed with my eyes open?
Yes.
Okay. Stuff. Do what to do. Can I go to the... Is there a shrine to Gaia by the fountain?
The fountain itself is a more of a what's the word? Well, I guess shrine. It's more of a shrine to let me find her name. Aquis, the daughter of Gaia. But one side depicts Aquis and the other side depicts Gaia. So it's not uncommon for followers of Gaia to frequent the fountain. There is a literal shrine to specifically Gaia. It's small and it's in the acreage, which is kind of out of the way and a bit farmland. It's not as what's the word? Like ornate as the fountain, but the fountain is definitely more towards Aquis than Gaia.
Okay.
Gaia doesn't
Yeah.
have great representation in Stalvin.
Yet. So, I can I go to the Gaia part of the Gaia fountain?
Yeah, sure. So
And-
it's just the back side, circular. So I mean, backside is debatable, but yeah.
I was laying my weapons down, and I would like to use my flavor feature of Fire and Brimstone just to
I do not know
deliver.
what that does.
Well, it's kind of it's kind of RP, so it's the
That's
Zealot
cool.
class feature, whatever you call it, background feature.
Yeah.
Which is to deliver a sermon, basically.
Okay.
To inspire or inspire fear.
Don't open on the right. Hey.
So if I can just, I don't know, deliver a sermon about Gaia's grace and how she played a pivotal role in driving back the Elven forces. Maybe throw in there about a little bit about the battle in the palace, how Gaia's might drove back an Elven assassin.
Okay. So you spend some time doing that with the party around you. It's on a day that you're all generally together. You were all tasked with putting back together a certain piece of the wall, and having finished for the day, you head on over back to the market square because that's where the Temple of Arella is anyway, and you ask the group if they wouldn't mind detouring to the fountain. You take them past this route, and you give this sermon. It certainly seems like some of them are unwilling to take it in at face value, but the words are kind and well meant in the moment. Obviously ceremonious and not at all attempting to retract from anything that anyone did in the moment. Yeah, I would say that there's no statistical gain, but certainly it seems as though it's well respected, and that if you were aiming to garner the attention or favor of your god, that you would likely have done so. Is that all you want to do?
Yeah, that's all I want to do.
Okay. Shortly after this sermon, Nemea comes over to you and holds up a bottle of wine that she got for you. Nemea?
Yeah, I imagine I would have taken him off to the side. I wouldn't have done it in front of everyone. And I just hand him the bottle of wine with a little bit of parchment that just says, "I know not whether you took the bolt out of instinct or camaraderie, but thank you for always defending your allies." And then at the bottom, I've just sewn a little picture of a hammer.
Oh.
How could
Wow.
you not love that?
Am I reading this with her in front of me?
I assume so.
Well, I gave it to you,
Oh.
and then I don't know if you want to just take it and leave. I don't know.
Yeah.
Theoretically, you can pocket it.
I'm gonna read it, and I'm gonna stick out my hand in very much like a soldier's handshake, but a respectful one. And I'm gonna fix Nemea in the eyes and just say, "You are part of my squad." And then
So many moments.
Are you gonna take my hand? You gonna leave me hanging?
Yes.
Yeah.
No, I take your hand. I nod,
She's
taken back a bit.
I'm gonna take my other hand and just place my other hand over her hand as well,
Slap around the face.
No.
Josh.
as if to just kind of lock it in place and say, "Packed."
Yes.
Yep.
Oh,
Thank you.
that's nice.
As for the wine, this is awkward. Paladins can't drink.
Oh.
So
What is this awfulness?
what I would suggest perhaps is although I certainly appreciate the gesture, perhaps we could all partake together a little bit later on. And I don't know, maybe your comrades will find more use of it. I'll just be there.
Yes, definitely. Sure.
Fantastic. And I'm going to fold up the note and keep it, because,
Okay.
And that is my downtime.
Hang on. What did the note say roughly, Nemea?
It's there.
That.
It's in Roll20, is it?
Mhm.
Ah, there we go. Cool. I'm going to copy this and put it here. And then I'm going to save this. and put it in Asteros's inventory.
Yeah.
There you go. That is now in your inventory. Is that the end of what you wanted to do, Asteros? You said it was, yeah?
Yep.
Okay, Livia, you're up.
Okay then. Oh, 1 sec. That's not working at all. I am going to spend some time with my parents. I feel like this is. I don't feel like I need to say this, but I'm going to. I'm going to spend some time with my parents at the temple. You know, healing everyone up, making sure everyone's okay, checking that my mum's alive. Is my mum alive?
Your mum is alive.
Oh, that's great news.
Actually, there was. I know this is a little bit out of like meta knowledge, but if you guys hadn't gone round to this side, everyone except Livia's parents would have died in the fight at the Temple of Arella.
Oh.
No way.
But you chose. That was written in my
God.
notes. But you chose to go to the market square, so everyone at the Temple of Arella that works there is alive still.
So what you're saying is we can never, ever trust you.
Oh God, yeah. I mean, if that was not knowledge
Yeah.
before.
Oh, sorry, that's really like throwing me off. I'll go check on Adana and spend some quality time with her. Can I?
She's there.
Can I was just about to get there. Can I find out where Agatha is?
Yep. Agatha is in a cage in your room, delivered by his Cass.
I must have like 6 eggs by now. It's going to be amazing.
Well, they've been eating the eggs that Agatha provided, because food's been scarce in the middle of wartime. Yeah, Agatha survives. She was, I think, given from his cast to Kristen, and Kristen brought her back, or something along those lines. I don't remember exactly how it went down. Because his cast was in the fight, but his cast was looking after Agatha. I don't remember who you gave it to. I'm pretty sure his cast had Agatha last.
Yeah, he was. And
He
I think
gave
Arecia
Agatha
for
to-
me told him to take it to the temple.
Yeah, he gave it to Kristen because Kristen was going back because he couldn't get his cart of goods any further.
This was it. Yeah.
And that's how Agatha got back to Starvin.
Okay, and then I want to have a conversation with my parents about what I wanted to do and what I spoke to Vice about. And then I guess that morning I want to go and get Vice and then tell him that we're ready and does he want to come with me? And then I want to lead him into
Fina vigil.
Yeah, and then I want to
Okay.
take him into like the courtyardy kind of area, where I assume like we probably I don't know, but I assume it's like a statue of Arella or something.
There'd be depictions of Arella and the general symbol of Arella around the graveyard that is attached to the Temple of Arella. What were you saying, Vice?
Oh, was there a grave put for her?
There is a grave. Yeah, Fina had a grave in the graveyard that's
Yeah.
attached to the Temple of Arella.
Okay, cool.
It's quite a
And then
small graveyard. They only bury people that they like recognize as important in that location.
Yeah.
I imagine this was like in front of the graveyard, but like I don't know how the structure is set up. And then like somewhere I want to have laid out like flowers and like small bowls of like offerings and things that we would typically do to have like a sort of a passing ceremony.
Yeah, sure.
And all the guys are going to be there. I've spoken to them all before and asked them to meet us there. So as me and Vice come out of the temple, that they're all sort of standing around waiting. And my parents will be there. And then I'd like to say a few words to Vice about Fina, and then pass on to my dad to like cast, like actually host like the typical not ritual, that's probably the wrong word, but like service that we would hold for Vice and Fina.
So you pass this on to Zuko.
Yeah, so I'll say a few words. Like I'll just say like we've gathered here all today to say goodbye to someone who we looked for a long time, but unfortunately weren't able to save her. Things have been a bit crazy for a while, and I don't feel like we've had the time to take it in. And although we didn't all know her personally, some of us here loved her very much. And this is just a way for us to say thank you and goodbye. And then I'll pass over to my dad for him to
In the moment, as
So-
everybody's standing kind of later in the day, as you guys have spent the majority of the day helping rebuild parts of Stov, and this gathering is brought in the graveyard, you're all gathered around the tombstone in front of the grave of Fina. And Zuko steps forward, given this cue from his daughter Livia, and he just says, I did not know Fina, though I have heard stories of the various adventures that led this group, those among us, and Livia, my daughter here. My understanding is that though she walked a fraught path with danger, she did so out of the love of her husband, Vice Kavanagh, and that she put herself in danger many times to save those that she loved. I suspect that there is not much more that we could ask of anyone around us. No doubt it would not be easy to carry out such a journey, and I'm sure most of her days were spent wishing that she could be around those that she loved, rather than protecting them from a distance. We're thankful that in her last moments she was able to see those that she loved one last time. And then he kneels down and says something under his breath that seems to be some sort of blessing to Arella, that you kind of recognize some of the words from Livia. And he draws the symbol, kind of, it doesn't like indent in the dirt or anything, but he draws the symbol of Arella over the ground that lays above where she's buried in the graveyard. You know, the blades of grass move to his touch, but he's not like digging it in or anything. And then he looks at all of you and just says, when you're ready, we will have a meal prepared inside. And he steps away, and Thea moves with him. Your mother, Livia, kind of puts a hand on your shoulder and steps close to you and gives you a quick hug. And as she moves off, she stops herself and turns back to you, Vice, and just puts a hand on your shoulder as well and just gives you a look of like, she understands what you're going through, and it's kind of apologetic. And then she moves off with Zuko, and they head inside.
Cool. Well, if no one here wants, I mean, I'm sure some of you, I know not everyone here knew Fina. I mean, it's arguable that maybe I did.
No, not at
I mean,
all.
but
Oh, her eyes and her hair.
I mean, we carried a picture of her for a really long time.
we did. But I'd like to say a couple of things. So, I want to walk up towards the grave, and I want to take, out those stones that I bought. Basically, in the time that everyone was doing what they were doing, I had carved very poorly two dawn stones that look very crappy, but as close as I could potentially have made, and carved like the symbol of Arella into them, even though it's not exactly the same. And I took out a bit of string from the mayor. Luckily, she had a couple of bits, and I hang one of them over her grave, and say, Fina, I wish you could have met all of the friends that I've made up until this point along this journey. You would have liked them, and I'm glad I was able to actually have some time to say goodbye properly this time, So, yeah, I'll always love you. And then put it on top, and then that's it. And I put the other one on. I've got the other one. It's kind of like a crappy version again. It's not perfect, but it looks like it. And in memory of her.
Okay.
Step away.
So that evening passes. You all return to the Temple of Arella, and food is had inside, and it's a relatively solemn meal. Most people are silent until slightly later in the day, and some of you stay up a bit late and eventually retire to your rooms. Others go to sleep a little bit earlier. As the days pass by, eventually the week comes through. Taryn, just before we miss you, is there anything you wanted to do?
I felt really bad following that up. What is essentially just going to be a tiny shopping trip.
It's fine. Breaks it up.
Yeah.
That's alright.
I specifically just want to look for anywhere that would sell magical robes of any kind, and for a measly sum of 300 gold pieces, have something that could possibly protect me in any feasible way, more than just some self-repairing garb.
So
Self-repairing garb.
what happens is you eventually head by a place called Obstric's Tricks.
Hey.
And having had the conversation with Benjamin Obstric, a slightly older fellow, much older fellow, who speaks very tall and stands quite tall in his conversation with you, he explains that I'm glad that you're searching for magical items in this time, and I would be more than happy to offer you what we have. Unfortunately, the war here has taken its toll on several locations. My establishment, one of them, and he kind of points over his shoulder at a entirely fucking destroyed building that seems to have collapsed at some point during this war.
Yes, it fucking is, Adam.
He says to you, he says to you, I did stock a couple of cloaks, a blue one and a green one, and they had some properties, some of them reminiscent of the kind of thing that you're talking of, but unfortunately they were unrecoverable. I was unable to locate them. I'm missing quite a few items. Such as war, I suppose, good fellow. And
on the offhand, I guess I would sort of inquire with him. Does he know anything about enchanting and whatnot? Is he someone that I would ask to get an enchantment of any kind?
Yes, yeah. He kind of says to you yes, certainly. I'm quite capable of various enchants. What are you specifically looking for?
Is there the possibility of enchanting these robes with some kind of physical protection kind of thing?
Yes, it depends on the level of the enchant that you are looking to acquire. Certainly some coin would be required for my time, and as you can imagine, I am in need of it. And he kind of looks back over his shoulder once more. He's like, are you looking for something that is hardy in its own right, or perhaps to offer you some sort of resistance? It's entirely up to you, sir.
Mostly hardy, and I just sort of look quite solemn as I usually do, pulling out my very, very light pouch, and I just plop it down.
How much gold do you have, as I struggle?
300 in total. I have 100 in actual gold and 21
That's not where I keep it.
pieces.
Sorry, what's the total?
310.
310.
310 or
Okay.
315 if you want to add that extra 5 gold if it matters.
Bear with me.
I think we both did the same thing there.
Yeah. Did we do a heart and it didn't come out, right? Yeah. It doesn't come out at all. I don't know. You have to do a space. There we go.
There we go. It's more meaningful. Sorry. Continue.
Adam got one to work.
I
Copy
did.
and paste.
Yeah, it's just
Import it.
Alt 3.
Oh.
Hold Alt, press 3. On the far right of your keyboard, that is it. He looks at you, Taryn, and just says, I'm terribly sorry, but the coin you have, I'm afraid that we won't be able to strike an accord. I could offer you a cloak of protection. It would take some time to forge, as I would need to require a standard cloak, but you would be looking at anywhere around the mark of sort of 400 to 450 gold. Certainly, I would like to offer you some sort of arrangement, given my current predicament, but as a result of the gold that I am in deep need of, I cannot do so at this time.
I guess I'll be coming back at a later date then.
I will, if you are certain, I can start the enchantment now, so that this is something that we have in stock, should you come back round with, let's call it 400 gold.
Sure thing. And I'll go out to sort of shake his hand, like an agreement thing.
I'll see to it in your absence, and he shakes your hand in return.
Okay.
Is that what you want to do?
Yeah, as a sort of follow-up to that, I'll just sort of plop down 100 gold as like a down payment, as it were.
Okay.
Just so that he knows, like, that's the start of it. I'll bring back the other 300.
Okay, so mark on your character sheet somewhere that you've paid 100 of the 400 gold required to purchase a cloak of protection. And as you give him the 100 gold, he's like, "Oh, it's not. Well, I'll start on it straight away." And then he turns around, kind of sees the destruction of his shop, turns back to you, and just goes, "You wouldn't happen to have a cloak that isn't enchanted in any fashion that I could use as a base?"
Not really. The best I've got really is a blanket.
That's fine. The war has taken from us all. I will ensure that it is ready upon your return. If you have the gold, the rest of the gold, within a couple days, the item will be in stock for you, sir. What was your name?
Taran Parvis.
Benjamin Obstrict. Obstrict's Tricks. Nice to make your acquaintance.
Glad to know of your acquaintance too, sir.
Okay.
And I'll bid him farewell and go off.
Cool. You cast Identify on Livia's cloak, Vice. Yeah, that's fine. You find out what it does. Livia's cloak is a displacement cloak. It allows her to use the Dimension Door spell as an action. However, she's limited to 100 feet. The Dimension Door spell has a few caveats. Things like you can take somebody with you as long as they're medium or smaller, and it maxes out at 500 feet. This cloak allows you to do everything the Dimension Door spell would allow, but with a maximum distance of 100 feet.
Damn.
Also, as I return, I would give basically everyone a sort of glare of sadness because I know what they've done.
Sorry,
To this poor man.
question. Because I remember the last session that they got the cloaks, but you didn't have any type of.
They'd need to short rest to attune to them, which definitely would have happened by now should they needed to.
We can RP that you identified them though, like that.
Okay, so they didn't. Oh, okay. So
they didn't know what they did. I added them to the journal for the sake of ease.
They know what they do.
Yeah,
okay.
You could have cast Identify over the time, so yeah, they know what they do now.
I'm gonna say let's try it, and then
similarly,
I'm gonna put the
Nemea,
cloak on,
your
and I'm
cloak
gonna
of
take him through the door.
Okay. Similarly, Nemea, your Cloak of Elven Kind allows you to have, I think it's advantage on stealth checks. Perception checks made to see you have disadvantage, and you have advantage on stealth checks, as long as you pull the hood up first. And it's an action to pull the hood up or take it down, I believe. Cloak with a wisdom, blah, 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 blah. Pulling the hood up or down requires an action, yeah. So who do you take with you, Livia?
Vice.
Okay. Vice, are you willing?
Grab his hand and pull him through.
Would you describe yourself as willing, Vice? And she says, "Let's see what it does," and like grabs you.
I don't think I have a choice. I think she's much stronger than me. I think.
Well, you need to be willing for you to be teleported with it.
Sure. I kind of like pretend as if I don't want to go, but like I struggle, but I poorly struggle. It's like,
yeah. They're like, oh no. So Livia, you teleport 100 feet in any direction that you describe in very few words, as per the Dimension Door spell. You guys disappear, like everyone else who is around you at this time sees a puff of smoke. Unlike Misty Step, it's not like a silvery outline. It's a literal puff of smoke that you can't see through, by the way. It creates a small 5-foot portion of darkness, effectively, which slowly dissipates. And when you guys appear on the other side, you're 100 feet away, also in a puff of smoke.
Wow. That's... that would have been useful. Like, many times.
Now that's cool.
That is pretty cool.
The rest of you still in the Temple of Aurelia can just see through the open doors. Vice and Livia are about 60 feet away from you at this point, or 60 feet away from the doors.
I want to try and trade my ring of jump in with Livia.
So, as the week goes on, eventually, Asteros, you're taken aside, and you are escorted to the palace. The remaining 4 of you, just read my notes here. Temporal Lorella, blah blah blah. The remaining 4 of you, as you do not hold as high a rank as Asteros, come into the information that the coronation of a new king is to be held at the end of this 6-day period. It's an event that everyone is expected to attend in Stalvin. It takes place in the royal quarter outside of the palace. But separate to this, Asteros, you're escorted away on the 6th day earlier on in that day. So the rest of you are just the 4, no Asteros. But everybody is going to the royal quarter to witness the
Can I
coronation of a
teleport
new
100
king.
feet closer as we're walking?
I didn't save the king by wishing for him to be.
You don't
alive.
know. You don't know, Vice.
We do that all
I've
the time.
abdicated.
You still don't know at this point. What did you say, Nemea? Sorry.
Oh, I just said Livia's going to be doing that all the time now.
Well, she can only do it once per long rest, I believe.
Oh.
Oh, I think
Yeah.
it's one per. Is it once per long rest?
I'm pretty
Yeah.
sure it's once per
I
long
thought it was
rest.
once per turn.
No.
And nerfed it a little bit.
That would be
that's,
great.
that's why I wrote teleporting Livia in the chat. So I think you're going to be blinking around the arena every.
Yeah,
Hey, I'm
it's-
still
it's
going to
once,
teleport.
once per
just
long
not
rest.
quite that often.
Okay. All right.
Can I
Still
show
cool,
off my
still
cloak as well? Like,
Yeah?
Yeah.
What does yours do?
What does yours do?
Mine.
This is like 5th
I
day.
assume Vice. Yeah, I assume Vice would have explained it. But it's the cloak of Elven Kind, and while I'm wearing it with my hood up, I basically get camouflaged into like the surrounding area, and I get like advantage on stealth checks because I'm all sneaky.
That shit literally changes color.
Yeah, that is nice.
Very
Like a
nice.
chameleon cloak.
What does
Yeah.
it do?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Hmm.
See, it's the beanies. We're connected.
It's
here.
we're connected now. We finally made it. Finally
This is
made
it. This is the connection we needed. 2 character deaths and a beanie later.
Love it.
I mean,
That's-
touch wood, but at the moment, you've had a character for a whole lot.
Fuck.
We have.
Well, touch wood, because it's just not finished yet, and we never know.
Mm-hmm.
I could literally just get assassinated at this parade. Because they'd be like,
Don't-
shit, he's got blue scales, take him down.
It should probably
It's
go
so
without
much-
saying, but don't antagonize the new king when you meet him.
Yeah, no, please don't.
I'm
The
not
end of it
out
all.
now. I'm fine.
So,
Someone needs one of those like toddler leashes, and we just need to like keep him literally in the center of the group. Just don't let him fight anyone. Don't let him aggravate anyone.
Yeah,
Like
put a
don't let him
muzzle
run
on.
off.
That's it.
on the 6th
end
day,
of the
with
arc.
Asteros taken away early in the day, you just see him met by guards. It doesn't seem nefarious in any fashion. He seems to have a conversation and then just tell you all that he'll catch up with you later and is escorted away. The 4 of you gather. I assume you attend the coronation. It's up to you.
I would. I'm interested to see what happens.
You're told that it's a coronation. I don't know if I mentioned that already.
Here's my question. In terms of like the military and stuff, have they given us any information about like, you know, our arrangement?
No.
Or has it just sort of been stay around?
Yeah, so far it's just been you're helping the rebuild situation in Stalvin. They've not told you anything in regards to your arrangement. So, as you guys head to the royal quarter, it's bustling and there's quite a few people. It seems like almost all of Stalvin have turned out. The hum of chatter is deafening as you attempt to move through a majority of the crowd and try and get as close to the front, in front of the palace as possible. The gates to the palace are open, which is abnormal. And in the distance stands a number of Kingsguard, as well as 2 Kingsguard stationed either side of the gate entrance. And you can see Gabriel standing there in the distance. He has no crown. He's surrounded by all of the Kingsguard. You also see somebody wearing more ceremonious robes, not as armoured as some of the other men. And can I have everyone who's not Asteros roll perception for me, please?
Inception.
Disgrace.
Do the last one for the arc.
13. Not that great. It's just declining.
19.
Oh no,
That's
no,
not how
no,
rolling
ignore.
works, Vice. You can't just claim you got a 20.
20 plus 7.
But I did get a good one.
Yeah. So Vice and Nemea, you guys see Aresia standing relatively close to Gabriel in the distance. You can pass that information on to the others if you so choose. As you're all standing there, you've made your way to about the kind of third-ish row. Amidst the various people of Stalvin, you're looking out at the King's Guard and Gabriel standing there, and this other man dressed in more ceremonial garb. And Gabriel steps forward. Bear with me. And I need to change all of this wording now because of what Vice did. He steps forward and says, my father is a great man. He almost gave his life protecting this city. And through the choice that he has made, it now falls to me to be the one to build Stalvin back up again. I vow to you all that we will have security, and in time, vengeance. We have suffered of late. But I ask you now to celebrate the future of Stalvin, and the legacy that my father has put in place, and will continue to oversee. The guy dressed in more ceremonious garb steps over to Gabriel at this point. And he has the crown in hand. And at this point you see somebody from behind the various King's Guard and Gabriel walking like... what's the word? Pained. He has like pained movements as though maybe he shouldn't be walking so early. He steps forward and just past his son, and you all see King Zachariah Anderblath, fully alive, standing in front of all of Stalvin. He looks at Gabriel and shouts out to the crowd in front of him, my time as King of Stalvin has come to an end. But I will make sure that all the choices here are made in my image. We will ensure that Stalvin is the capital it once was. With your help. He puts a hand on Gabriel's shoulder and he says, I'm certain my son can do this for you. The time has come for me to step down. And I hope you will join me in granting congratulations. And then the ceremonious garbed guy passes him the crown and kind of puts it on his head. And Zachariah says, I present to you all King Gabriel Anderblath of Stalvin. And Gabriel steps forward. Fucking hell, this voice hurts my throat for some reason. And all of the villagers of Stalvin begin to cheer. It's deafening around the four of you as everyone kind of raises their hands up, claps, people are wooing.
I think we're just standing there in shock. Not wooing. Just like... He hasn't got a bolt through his neck.
And you can't see from this distance whether or not he has any sort of wound or anything like that.
I'm like glad that he's alive, but I'm sort of stood there with a bit of trepidation, just sort of more of a look of, I wonder where the future lies, really.
After about 15-20 minutes, the kind of crowd begins to die down, and you hear Gabriel step forward and just say, he says a few things, but he kind of ends it with, I promise I will do my best for all of you. The effort has begun to rebuild Stalvin to what it once was. We will all be instrumental in that challenge. I trust that you, citizens of Stalvin, will offer everything you can, just as I will, just as my father once did, and hopefully will continue to do so. There's a bit more clapping as people begin to spread, and the crowd dies down a little bit. As it does begin to, the two guards that are either side of the gate leading to the palace step forward and eventually reach the four of you. And one of them gets close enough to you to just say, if you wouldn't mind, we need to take you through to the palace at the king's request.
I'll gladly.
To us?
Yeah,
Head.
says that to you.
I'll gladly
Okay.
let them lead me onwards.
I'm kind of hiding
I
behind
feel like we should have
people
said
a
that
little
out
bit
loud
because I feel
rather than type it.
intimidated.
No. Genuinely, okay. Sure.
It's a conversation you two have been having, like you four have been having amidst the crowd. I didn't see it. It's like, if you don't mind, and he turns and just leads you through to the palace, the open gate, and you move on through. You take the previous path that you, at this point, recognize as one that you previously ran through amidst the slaughter of many Starven Guard.
Is it cleaner?
It is cleaner. A week on. They bring you through to the room that you fought in, and they pass straight through that room into the throne room. Bear with me. In the throne room is Gabriel, a couple of Kingsguard, Asteros, Aresia, and the four of you, accompanied by two more Kingsguard. Gabriel steps forward in front of the party as it is, and says to you all, firstly, before we get into the specifics of why I've brought you here, I'd like to commend you all for your bravery. Whether out on mission to prove yourself, or right in the forefront of war. Time and again, you 6 individuals, and he looks over at Asteros and Aresia, have proved your worth. 4 of you, earning your freedom. And he kind of addresses just you 4 at this point. He says, paying off a debt, which you may all consider paid in full from this point forwards. At this time, a soldier of the Kingsguard begins to come round all of you and passes you a small metallic pin. Asteros, the 4, and then ending in Aresia.
There's a small exhale from me as well, just as he says that, just like...
That's definitely a thing. Like, oh, thank
I
fuck.
look like
I'm
untrusting
gonna grab
a
some
little
water.
bit. Like I look a little bit taken back. Like we can't actually. Like this isn't real. They're
This ain't
twisting it.
real. You're full of shit.
The pin
You
itself...
enjoy both of
You
those
get
days
pinned.
of leave.
You get the weekend, then you're back to shit. The pin itself looks like the symbol of Starven, which is roughly this. I think it's like that. It's like roughly that shape.
Oh,
I can post it in.
A rock.
I can post it in Discord for you guys.
I
but
remember
for
it.
the
It was on the map when we
streams-
fought the elves.
Yes,
Yeah,
it
yeah,
was.
I
So
remember.
that's the wrong place. Let's put it in Bela'Dun and Beyond. Yeah, so it's exactly that shape, but for the stream, it's a shitty drawing to that effect. Which is kind of more
Oh.
like this. There you go. That's basically it, if it was drawn by a child. As you are all past these symbols, which I'm going to delete because that's a terrible drawing, Gabriel continues on. He says, your exemplary service has afforded you all this recognition. The official Royal Starven Commendation, which outwardly recognizes you as an individual that has served Starven and the king personally to an outstanding degree. You will likely find respect where you did not have it before, and pride from those already allied to your cause. In terms of a statistical change, you can note down that you all receive a 20% discount on any purchase made from a vendor loyal to Starven. It also gives you advantage on any charisma check where the target recognizes and respects the royal commendation and what it represents. So you'll need to add that all to your character sheets. 20% discount on any purchase made from a vendor loyal to Starven. That's not vendors in Starven. That's vendors that are loyal to Starven.
I have a question
Yeah?
for the king or the king's guard.
Okay, he doesn't really give you a chance to speak at this point.
No?
Well, he's
okay, when there's a
continuing on.
chance,
It's like
talk
a...
it. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, when there's a chance.
That's fine. I'll remember it. Those of
Yeah, the
you
last
that...
one.
Advantage on charisma.
Advantage on charisma checks where the target recognizes and respects the royal commendation and what it represents. So it won't just give you advantage on charisma checks with everyone ever. If somebody's never fucking heard of that, or never seen one before, or thought you made it yourself, or fucking hates Stalvin, any of those things, then you wouldn't have advantage in that situation. But if they're specifically loyal to Stalvin and recognize it and what it represents, you have advantage on charisma checks with those people. On the back of the pin, which the four of you and Astaros and Aresia receive, it says Wardens of Dusk.
Oh, we have our own badge.
Whilst Gabriel is still talking, which is why you don't get a chance to say anything at this point, Nemea, the same soldier then comes round with small gold pouches. And he gives one to each of you, including Astaros and Aresia. And Gabriel goes on to say, Stalvin is not in the habit of paying its soldiers inordinate amounts of gold. However, since your service went beyond the norm, I saw fit that your reward should also. And you all find within your pouches 150 platinum. Unless your name is Vice, in which case there is 200 platinum in your pouch, Vice.
Oh.
My guy. Good job.
Ooh.
Well deserved.
Just remember that. That's what a king's life is worth. 50 plat.
Yeah.
So,
That is a lot.
he then looks at you, Vice, as this other soldier is passing you the money, and Gabriel steps forward. Before you've opened the pouch, he reaches out to shake your hand, Vice.
What?
I said, before you've opened the pouch, Gabriel reaches out to shake your hand. I assume you do.
Yeah, like
Kind
very,
of
yeah. With
It's a prince.
yeah, I'm very shy, but very
King
confident
now.
at the same time. It's weird.
Okay, so he shakes your hand, he kind of grabs you by the wrist. There's like a grip in this shake. This is definitely somebody that doesn't shy away from like putting all their force into a manly handshake. And he says to you, you've done me a great service, and I hope the coin that you have received goes some way to thank you for that service. Kind of lets your hand go. He's not massively expecting a response, though. If you want to, you've got a half second before he steps back in place.
No,
Okay.
I'm just gonna be him.
He then turns to
Yep.
Aresia, so the last thing he said was Stalvin's not in the habit of paying its soldiers inordinate amounts of gold, but since you guys have gone beyond the norm, your reward is beyond the norm. He then will go on to say, right then, let's discuss why I brought you all here. And he turns to Aresia. I don't know if Amy's there. Feel free to say something in the chat if you are, Amy, but, you know, watch this back if you're not. He says to her, he goes, Aresia, step forward, if you will. And assuming that she does so, he then looks at her straight in the eyes. That's fine. And he says, Lieutenant Godwin, you're responsible for the death of the outsider who killed or almost killed the king, and therefore are a hero in the eyes of Stalvin. From this day forth, you are promoted to the rank of captain. However,
Oh, damn.
given my recent appointment to Regency, it appears we require a captain of the King's Guard, rather than another high-ranking official of the military, which is currently grounded. Would you accept my former position, and vowed to guard me as I once did my father? And Aresia kind of is caught off guard a little bit, and
Fuck yeah.
like half-heartedly, but then with a bit of gumption, just goes, yes, I will. Gabriel kind of shakes her hand and gives her a nod, as though she's kind of a bit on the inner circle at this point. She literally stands at his right side as he continues on. He turns to Astaros, and he says, Sergeant Somnitel, From this point forth, you are promoted to the rank of Chief Sergeant.
Oh.
However,
That came up.
however, you have sustained many injuries in this war. So I also offer you your retirement. However, I know you are not a man to sit idly by. I will give you time to decide. But know that should you still wish to serve, that I could make use of your skills amidst this group still. You would not be able to represent the military as you carry these future orders out. Additionally, I'm told you serve Gaia, the Earth Mother.
I do.
My understanding is that she does not have much representation in Stalvin outside of the acreage. I thought that you might like to lead a larger scale endeavor to change this fact. Somewhere in the royal quarter, perhaps. You will be provided your own board, with a garden large enough to serve this purpose. And he kind of reaches out to shake your hand as though this is a agreeal on the deal.
Smile there.
Yeah, out of character. I can't stop dancing. You're throwing me off. Yeah, I'm speechless at all of this, and it's all like flying past my slightly aged head so quickly. I am gonna put out a slightly trembling hand and take that handshake, and I must think on this. This is large, but no doubt extremely generous. You have my word that I will make the right decision either way.
Certainly, whether you continue to serve or not, this reward is yours, Chief Sergeant. He then turns to the four of you and says, I have a further task for the four of you. I require people on the inside at Dunbarlin. You will be sent under the guise of consultants looking to garner forces to assist Stalvin in patrolling the south. If they thought we had a military presence there, no matter how small, it would not go well. However, your actual task will be to locate and kill this Arthurius. We have had spies following his escape from the Battle of the Wandering Wood who have confirmed that it seems Dunbarlin is his destination. One of them was killed in this pursuit, and the other lost his trail shortly after this attack. I do not expect the dwarves of Dunbarling will be willing to offer support to the south, so if your cover in this endeavor is inspected in any way, simply advise the dwarves that there has been a lot more activity in the south of late, and that it is left to thrive. If it is left to thrive, it will no doubt spread north. In any event, it is unlikely the North will take advantage of our current position. Regardless of the recent situation with my father, having so recently signed the treaty with us regarding teleportation, I believe that they consider us friends for the moment, in spite of our weakened state. I do not expect you all to carry out this task unaided, or for nothing. As I said, you are free of the bonds of your servitude to Stalvin. Most of you have travelled quite some distance. Some of you have also lost your homes. I offer you a base of your own, here in the Royal Quarter, that you may share with Asteros as a groundskeeper, whether he chooses to continue with you or not. You will find it quite large enough to house you all. If you accept beyond the coin and housing, which you will receive in any event, we also have this. And then Gabriel steps forward, recognizing you, Livia, as the only remaining kind of potential leader amidst this group from the slivers of information he has outside of Asteros and Eresia. And he passes you a book, which is called A Study on the Legitimacy of Celestial Essences.
Oh, what? No, copy paste that.
I'll paste it into it.
I was like, nah.
Nah,
Like, I stuck at spelling. Like, come on, man. Ooh.
He goes on to say, Major Ferdy mentioned your group had some interest in this. The book was amidst the Mage Library, but was considered to likely be a work of fiction.
Considering the topic in discussion, I would look quite serious, but at the sight of this book, I'd sort of like peek over her shoulder, like, oh, okay, hello.
I'm gonna.
Yeah,
pass it
it's
to
pretty
him
obvious.
while
You're able to
still
do so.
Paying attention.
Livia
to-
passes the book over. He says, "We'll of course be looking into these items ourselves, with Oresia on the forefront of that investigation. But if you do turn up anything, should you accept the task, I would ask you also feed any information you find back to her. If you would rather return to your lives, the home and coin alone will remain yours, of course. But I would like to know now, will you serve Stalvin once more?" Nemea, he stops talking at this point, and if you want to say anything, you are able to.
I do. I want to quickly say, but first I have a request.
Certainly.
When we first arrived here, we came with a friend, an elf. His name was Elkas. Before we got sent off to Wandering Wood, he was kept here, and I wish to know his fate. And if he still yet lives.
Information as to the outcome of the skirmish with the elves of the Wandering Wood, or at least those that sided with this outsider, is on a need-to-know basis. So when I give you this information, I would ask that it does not leave this room. He looks at you, Nemea, expecting... Okay.
A nod.
Yeah.
I agree. Yeah.
The elf known as Elkas was liberated amidst the skirmish and has returned to his people. We seek no further quarrel with the Wandering Wood at this time. The agreement with Silver Tomb still stands, and our understanding is that his allegiance lies with one of the remaining clans, and not those that were taken down in this war.
Only one of my characters is dead.
Hey!
Well done.
I just want to say thank you for not killing him.
Sorry.
I will fight for Stalvin once more. I now know that you are trustworthy to me.
Thank you, Miss Hartilly, and of the rest of you. And he looks at the remaining three.
Regardless of any kind of affiliation, I have a lot of unfinished business with this man. And knowing that I don't really have too much to sort of fear at this point, I'd divulge the information I'd pull out. Specifically my left arm, just because the black hand's a bit wonky. I just want to show the scales and say that I seem to share some sort of affiliation with him, so there's a lot of baggage, I guess you could say.
He kind of looks at this and just says, seems perhaps you will be well placed in this endeavor. I appreciate that you are willing to go along with it. Parvis, is it not?
Indeed.
I thank you.
I'm going to look to Vice and just go, what do you say?
Gabriel stands but in front of the two of you, essentially waiting any sort of response.
Well, I've still, as Darren said, I feel like I still have unfinished business with this man. So, I'll continue.
I know the feeling. I've heard you've already had some loss in this endeavor. I appreciate you're willing to see it through nonetheless.
Yeah, I do.
Livia?
I'm going to look to him and say, I am not one to seek out revenge or look out for blood. That is not my way. But where my friends go, I go.
Ah.
No.
I give her a quick little, very unprofessional in the presence of the king, kind of like shoulder grab.
We're a team. We work well together. We look out for each other. And Stalvin is my home. So, yes.
He looks at you and just says, I see why Oresia suggested that if this group had a leader, you are it. I thank you all. And he turns back to Oresia at this point and just goes, Captain, I believe we have some issues to attend to. and then they step away. The King's Guard lead you out of the throne room and eventually escort you out of the palace. Asteros,
Can I before I go through the doors? Can I turn around and call Oresia's name?
Yeah, she like stops and turns to you.
I'm just gonna do this. Be like, "See you later, Captain," and grin, and then leave.
She kind of smiles and just looks at you and just goes, "Behave," and then turns around and walks away.
I can hear her in her voice.
I can definitely hear her voice.
Asteros, it's your choice. Go on, Taryn, sorry.
I'd be quite jovial, just sort of going into live, just like, let me look at the fucking book. No.
I've already given you the book.
Oh, I didn't know you fully gave it to me.
I passed it to you.
Roll investigation, Taryn. Roll investigation.
Yeah, you're reading it.
Asteros, do you go with the group or do you stay behind to find out what this new life looks like for you?
Shit.
Yeah. Before I like make any decision, can I just pull Taryn off to like one side very quickly?
Yeah, sure.
As I'm reading the book, just
Yeah. The book's not going anywhere.
You go to him.
You can read the book later. Parvus, you may remember we began this adventure together, sparring in a dungeon, and I may have cracked you over the head one too many times with my hammer, and then again one more too many times with the shield.
There is a nice cheeky grin as he mentions that.
We went on to a potion shop where I accidentally scalded a woman's hand, and you retained my honor by not mentioning that to anybody.
I'll be honest, I maybe forgot.
Well, I'm reminding you now. I did offer you a place at my side as my right-hand man, which you turned down, and we also went through Lenari's lockbox, which I don't think I knew the name of, so I'll just call it this box, and I got a purple hand. And you asked me for the Stone of Luck, which I gave to the Tiefling.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Suffice to say, all of these things combined, I do feel like I have done you wrong slightly during this event.
And to be fair, I did try to punch you in the back of the head at one point.
That happened.
That did happen. Except, would I have known that because my back was... You did what?
Nothing.
I heard from the men. What comes may diverge our paths a little more, and as a minor thank you for everything we've been through, I just want you to have this token. I'm going to hand him the 4th level teleport dimension door scroll that we got from Spider-Woman.
Oh.
Yep. We never had a chance to use this, and I don't proclaim to understand its magics. So I want you to have this, and this. And I'm also going to hand him over the cards from the Obstrix Tricks.
Okay.
I am like fully star-glowing eyes, just like a child in a candy shop, like fucking... Oh, magic shit, yes.
I feel like this scroll will appeal to your magical side, and these cards will appeal to your childish side. So I'm sure between them, you'll have some kind of use for them. Certainly more than I will.
I'll sort of like, in thanks, almost like break the tension. I'm just gonna like, the sort of bro hug, like, angled. Just full on pat the back and everything. Just like, you're a good man. You're a good man.
I'm just going to put one hand on his shoulder and say, indeed, as are you. And then walk back to the main group.
So you're rejoining the Kingsguard rather than heading out with the group?
Yeah.
Yeah, cool. So that's really not a now question, Livia. So you head back into the throne room, Asteros, and the rest of the group head out. Nemea, you have the opportunity to... Taryn, did you hand off the book to Nemea as she was sort of half asking for it before?
I did not.
You didn't,
I
cool.
felt like it would have been too fast.
Livia, you... Like, if you want to have bought stuff at some point in the
fine, don't
week,
worry.
that's fine.
Okay.
Is there anything specific that you potentially wanted to buy that is coming up for some reason? Okay, cool. So, as you all head out into Stalvin once more, you're in the royal quarter and you know your way from here back to the Temple of Arella, where it seems you've all been staying. it seems that you've agreed to carry out this mission, whatever it may be, in Dumbalin, and will likely receive more information on that in the future. But for now, that is the end of this arc. We are done.
Oh,
Whoop, whoop.
Oh,
We did it.
Well
good job, everyone.
done. Good job, Josh.
Oh,
Thanks.
I am
very,
pleased.
very good.
Yeah.
Can
What
I
a
do a
campaign.
small
was
epilogue?
fine.
Yeah, sure. What do you want to do?
I want to go to the shops, and then I want to meet everyone back at the temple, and then I want to gather them all round, and then I want to give them all little bundles that are all wrapped in like crappy paper, and I bought them all presents.
What did you
Okay,
buy?
what do you buy,
Oh.
everyone?
Okay, so when Taran opens it, it's a fancy quill with ink. Because, you know, he can start writing his own book. When Asteros opens it, I got him a tiny little hammer. Like, it's like this.
Even smaller than
It's like a keyring.
It's a keyring. It's a keyring. When Nemea opens it, it's a little small purple gem. It's not worth anything. It's just a little purple gem.
Oh.
And when
gem.
Vice
I like
opens
it.
it, it's a brand new deck of cards with
Ah.
gold lining on the back with the Starvin
Nice.
symbol on it.
Nice. Thank you, Livia.
Easy enough to do.
Hours of gameplay.
And then we can all
So-
sit down. I've still got a quarter bottle of whiskey left, so we can sit at the temple and we can drink our whiskey and the crappy wine, and we can play 5-man solitaire, and Taran can sit and scribble in his books. And that's how we'll.
In the
That's my
transitionary time as well, I will go over to Obstrix Tricks and get my cloak.
Yes, you can get your cloak of protection.
Yeah.
How are you paying for it? Oh, because you've got loads of money now. My
Yeah.
bad.
Yes.
Question is, do you get 20% off?
You're
now?
loaded.
We'll come back to that.
Oh.
Yes, is the answer. You would get 20% off.
Fantastic.
What's 20% off 400?
10% 40, so
380.
320, isn't it?
80 off.
Yeah,
That's what
so
I was
320 total.
Yeah.
So it's only 220.
220 more? Yeah, 220. Okay. So
So yeah, we can fade to black with us all drinking and playing solitaire in the temple.
You guys
Yeah, I love it.
do. For the stream's sake, we may be skipping next week. We may not. Currently, we're uncertain. But in any event, we will be doing Max's one-shot, mid-arc one-shot. It currently doesn't have a name, but Max will be the DM. I will be playing. And I'll be fully handing off everything to him and trying my best to keep my mouth shut and not DM over the top of him during.
I may need it for the first session. Who knows?
Well, that's fine. Everyone will be able to
I'll
answer
try-
questions. I'm going to do my
yeah, I'll
best to
try
not,
and
like, take control. But yeah,
No,
I'll change the stream name once Max has named it. But yeah, we'll let you know whether or not it's next week or the week following. But yeah, thanks for watching, everyone.
Thank you all.
Hopefully see you next week, if not the one afterwards. Goodbye, stream.
Bye.
Take care, guys.
Bye.
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 Bye.